The calendar flips to November, and the games take on a different sense of urgency in the Missouri Valley. This afternoon, a big game for the Illinois State Redbirds as they take on the Northern Iowa Panthers. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Illinois State football here on Marquee Sports. Kurt Pegler alongside former Redbird quarterback Zach Annexstad. And the Redbirds, Zach, had a big road win last week at South Dakota. They have some momentum. They don't want to give it back with a home loss today.
That's right, Kurt. Excited to be here. Thank you for welcoming me in. Watching some tape this week, Brock Speck's team had a great game last week, a huge win. University of Northern Iowa is looking for their first win in the Missouri Valley. I'm excited for this game today. Yeah, the Panthers winless in the league, looking for a spark. They make a change at quarterback. Jackson Daly is under center to start the game. He's a lefty, and I like lefties. I just want to see him get out here, get comfortable, get confident quickly. He's got the team behind his back. It's going to be fun to watch him play today. The Redbirds will play their second consecutive game without All-American wide receiver Daniel Sobkowitz, but Dylan Lord came up big in his place last week, and the Redbirds hope he can do the same today. Kurt, I love Dylan Lord. I'm excited for this kid to play today. He's a super confident kid. Talking to him in pregame, I think he's going to go out there. He can run every single route there is. Tony Peterson loves him, the offense coordinator at Illinois State. Excited to see him play today. Redbirds on the field, trying to improve their record to 6-3 on the season as they take on the 2-6 Northern Iowa Panthers. These games in November, this is where the rubber meets the road, right, Zach? This is where it gets really important. This is where it's important. We got a beautiful day here in early November. I mean, if I was playing today, I couldn't be more excited to be out there. Hopefully weather's not too much of a factor here. 49 degrees, cloudy skies. Feels like it's 44, but it should be dry. And this is a typical Central Illinois November afternoon. And we are glad that you're alongside here on Marquee for Missouri Valley Football Conference action between the Illinois State Redbirds and the Northern Iowa Panthers. Panthers, again, looking for their first road win of the year, their first conference win of the season. It's been tough sledding for the Panthers, but they always seem to play the Redbirds well, and this, we think, is really going to be a fun game. You see the captains are getting ready to walk out for the coin toss. The Redbirds coming off an impressive win at South Dakota, snapping the Coyotes' 11-game home win streak, carrying some momentum back here. Redbirds had to kind of right the ship after they lost at home to Youngstown State 2 weeks ago. That was a huge win on the road. Last week, Northern Iowa played at Southern Illinois. They were down 24-3 at halftime, just never really got the offense going. It was a really rough afternoon for the Panthers, and they'll try to make amends here in Normal this afternoon. Let's talk about maybe what the keys to this afternoon's games are. Zach, what do you think? I mean, start with you and I here. Start a new quarterback in Jackson Daly. I want to see him get off to a quick start today. I mean, I think the team has his backing. He's a good leader. I've heard great things about him. And on the defense side of the ball for you and I is contain Tommy Rittenhouse. Without Daniel Sobkowitz today, he might be looking to run. He has some good legs on him. Might be one of the faster guys on the team. Would love to see them contain him. Illinois State, next man up at the receiver position. Obviously, Daniel Sobkowitz out. Let's see Dylan Lord and some of those guys step up. And again, limit explosive plays on the defensive side of the ball. We do not want to see those from Illinois State. So good stuff. Tyler Downs is our referee, and he is conducting the coin toss. So let's listen in.
My name is Tyler. This is Steve. University of Northern Iowa. You are the visitors. Illinois State. This is tails. This is heads. Heads. Tails. Steve is going to flip the coin. It's going to hit the ground. What do you call? Tails. Northern Iowa calls tails. Steve, flip the coin, let it hit the ground. It is heads. Illinois State, you want to toss. Elected to defer. You want to receive? Which way you want to kick? All right, let's spin around over here. Northern Iowa will receive in this end zone. Good luck today, gentlemen.
Redbirds win the coin toss. They elect to defer, so they'll receive the ball in the second half. The third member of our broadcast crew is Kalia Butler. She's working our sidelines. Let's go to her now.
Everyone remembers the games in November is the reminder head coach Brock Speck had in our call earlier this week, and it just so happens to be November 1st. He said that this is the time that your team makes a push for a spot in the postseason, for a championship, but they can't get ahead of themselves. They have to take it one game at a time. Focus on the opponent now and not the one next week. Guys.
Yeah, thanks, Kalia. These are the big games of the year that every year they kind of point towards November, the push towards the playoffs. The Redbirds right now coming in at 5-3. They probably have to win at least 3 of their final 4 games to make the playoff field, don't you think?
I mean, you got to imagine. I think that's the push they need. It's November. Everybody talks about November being their time to shine. Illinois State needs to take advantage of that here.
Again, the Redbirds win the coin toss, so they will kick it away to the Panthers with the opportunity then to start the second half with the ball. So we'll see this Northern Iowa offense led by Jackson Daly here to start this game. One thing we should mention, the Panthers special teams been terrific. They've blocked 4 kicks. They had a couple of blocked punts last week. That's one thing that has certainly caught the eyes of the Redbird coaching staff is who wins the special teams battle, and the Panthers have done a really good job of blocking kicks. Their punting game was really good last week too, so that's a part of the game that the Panthers have really taken a lot of pride at. But it's going to be Illinois State here to kick. Matt Maldonado will kick it away. Jaden Hodge takes it inside his 10 and brings it out to about the 17-yard line. Good coverage that time by the Redbird special teams unit. Let's take a look at your starting lineups here presented by your local Ford dealers. Take a look at some of the skilled positions. Again, the Panthers make a starting quarterback change. They bring in Jackson Daly. He's the Arkansas State transfer. He'll start. Bill Jackson and Harrison Baybui will be the running backs. They're getting bulk of the work. J.C. Roque, Tyson Kershaw, Aiden Price, Derek Anderson, a pro prospect at tight end. That's for the Panthers. And Jackson gets the first carry of the game, and he slips ahead for about a pickup of 3 yards on the first play from scrimmage.
Just starting out with an inside zone play there. Had an RPO backside option to throw that ball there. Again, would love to see Jackson Daly kind of get off to a hot start here and just get them comfortable, get things rolling.
The Panthers second from the bottom in the Valley in rushing. They've had a hard time moving the football on the ground, and that's really their bread and butter. When they run the ball well, they win. And they've not been able to really establish much of a ground game here. We'll see if that's different this afternoon. Pick up a 4 on the play, so it's 2nd and 6, and now Daly to pass. Chased out of the pocket, and he's across the 25-yard line before he's brought down on the play. Picked up a couple more, so they'll face 3rd down. And this team on 3rd down is a 38% conversion rate. Panthers are averaging 14 points a game, and they only have 13 touchdowns this year. So you mentioned that they'd have to get off to a good start. They'll certainly look to convert on this 3rd down. Just 110 yards rushing and 190 yards passing on average for their offense. So they could really use a spark early. Get some confidence.
And again, Kurt, Daly is not scared to run the football here. His legs are super viable here on 3rd down.
3rd and 2 now from the 26-yard line. Daly to throw, has his man, his tight end, with the catch over the middle. That is going to be a 1st down as they convert on the catch that time by Briggs Houston. He had a touchdown catch last week. In fact, he's had 2 games in a row in which he's caught a touchdown. And it's tempo offense as the Panthers quickly get to the line of scrimmage after the first down of the game. This time Daly's going to keep. The Redbirds stay home. He picks up a couple of yards before he's dragged down on the play.
Smart play there by Daly. He had the tight end in the flat on a run pass option there, and he just got his nose down and got a few yards. I love that.
Good ankle tackle by Mason Kaplan on that play. We'll pick up a 3. Yeah, big, strong guy, 6'3", 225, not afraid to mix it up in there. He's a guy that actually likes the contact at quarterback as a running quarterback.
And talking to some of the Illinois State guys throughout the week, this kid will put his head down. He will put his head down. He is not scared to run someone over.
On 2nd down now, they're going to run to the outside. That's the receiver, Roque, who gets the handoff, and he runs, and he's got another 1st down. So the Panthers have strung together a nice little drive here to start the game.
You and I with a little hard count there. I don't know if they were trying to see something pre-snap. Redbird showed a little bit of pressure there, and they were called a good player outside zone away from it.
J.C. Roque is the leading receiver with 38 catches on the year for the Panthers, but running the football there, and a nice play for a 1st down, and now the Panthers are in Redbird territory. Spot the ball at the 47-yard line. On 1st down. Daly rolling to the left. And he keeps it. It's Kaplan that pushes him out of bounds. He picked up maybe 2 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Again, using Daly's legs there on the naked, quick naked. He possibly could have thrown that hitch out there, kept his eyes on it. He had his eyes on it. But again, let's not make any crazy mistakes there. Let's not force anything. I like to see that out of Daly. Pick up a yard or 2. Let's not have any forced errors here.
Daly last week at Southern Illinois, he came in the second half, threw a pair of late touchdown passes, 93 yards. He was 9 of 19 on the game. On 2nd down, they give us to Jackson, and he works the left side and picks up another couple, but it'll be maybe 3rd and 5 now for that Panther offense.
Just a mid-zone run there. I think, you know, walking around again in pregame, kind of checking some of these guys out. UNI has some big boys up front now. A lot of Midwestern kids, some big boys up front there. They're going to get a good push against this talented Illinois State defensive line for sure.
Yeah, that entire offensive line, Midwestern guys. They got 3 guys from Iowa, 1 from Minnesota, and 1 from Nebraska, and that's starting offensive line for the Panthers. 3rd and 6. The Panthers have picked up a couple of first downs on 3rd down here. Redbirds show some pressure. Daly caught from behind and dragged down. He got back towards the line of scrimmage. In fact, he actually picked up a couple, but it was Garrett Steffen who dragged him down from behind. It'll be 4th down.
You know, once again, you see a hard count there. Illinois State is tipping their cap. Would like some of those linebackers just kind of sit on their heels a little bit more. Let's not jump that too much, show what we're doing. But again, good job by Daly just to pick up a few yards there. Let's just keep progressing through our reads there for Daly.
Noah Pettinger was one of the star players for the Panthers last week. He's on to punt. He had 7 kicks of better than 50 yards. He had a 52-yard average last week in Carbondale. He had a wonderful game punting, and he's going to try to pin the Redbirds here. Angles it towards the end zone, but it's in the end zone, and it'll be a touchback for Illinois State to bring it out. And we'll see the Redbird offense now for the first time. Take a look at that Illinois State offense, again brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Tommy Rittenhouse, Wanker's right, Dylan Lord again in for the injured Daniel Sopkowicz, Luke Maylander on the outside as well, Eddie Casper, Javon Charles in that starting unit for Illinois State. And let's not forget that offensive line, which has allowed only 10 sacks this year. Probably an underrated part of this Redbird offense has been the play of the line. Wanker's right on 1st down, dives ahead, a pickup of about 3, maybe 4.
You're gonna see that inside zone play out of Illinois State. That's a staple in offensive coordinator Tony Peterson's offense. You're gonna see that a lot today, especially whether they're going up tempo or at a normal huddle pace.
Wanker's right went over the 2,500-yard mark for a career last week. He's averaging just under 5 yards a carry. He gets a second crack at it. Not much doing there. The Panthers stack him up. And now it'll be 3rd down. It's Tucker Langenberg in to make that play. Number 2 in the tackles department for the Panthers. 70 tackles coming in.
Just like I was talking about with Daly, I want to see Rittenhouse get confident early. This is a big 3rd down play here on this first drive. Going with an empty set here, as you see, but I want to see him get confident early, get rolling.
It's 3rd and 3 now for the Redbirds. Their first 3rd down play of the game. The pass goes out. Dylan Lord goes up, and he makes the plays right at the sticks, and that's going to be a 1st down.
I'm telling you, I said pregame, Dylan Lord is a player to watch today, Kurt. I really like the kid. He's super, super confident, like I said. And I think this kid has every single route in his arsenal. I love him.
Yeah, 5'9", 185 pounds. So he's not the biggest guy out there, but he's got a good catch radius, and he plays with a big heart. Coming off an 8-catch game, a career-high 8 catches last week in that victory at South Dakota. 1st down now. Rittenhouse runs, dives ahead to about the 40-yard line. He picked up 8 on the play.
Just a pure progression there out of Tommy Rittenhouse. That just means he's reading that play across the board. He didn't see much open there, neither did I, and he used his legs to get forward. Something that he is always doing, Kurt.
Yeah, comes into the game with 263 yards rushing, and he's one of those dual threat guys, can beat you with his arm or his legs. He keeps it this time and dives ahead, and the Redbirds are going to have another 1st down.
I'll tell you what, though, Kurt, I like him getting down. Sometimes he gets a little ballsy in there and he likes to put his shoulder down, but I like seeing a quarterback get down. I don't think it's a soft move. I think it's a safe move, and I think it's something that we want to see him stay in the game.
Redbirds are averaging 30 points a game, 165 yards on the ground, and 212 in the air. This time it's Wenker's right, and he's got some running room. Big run for Wenker's right before he's tackled on the play. It was Mo'oloho who got him. But a big run for Wenker's right as he works the outside here, huh?
A humongous run. He bounced that. I mean, the box is absolutely loaded. They showed man there pre-snap building out into a cover 3 look, but they loaded the box there. Wenker's right bounced that run. We picked up a big gain there.
Now we have Dawson in the game. Victor Dawson on his feet, and he picks up 9 on his first carry. Redbirds have that nice 1-2 punch between Wenker's right and Dawson, who's the transfer from Cincinnati.
I was just about to say, Kurt, how about the addition of Victor Dawson this season to this offense, huh?
So a 24-yard run by Wenker's right, followed by an 8-yard run for Dawson, and it's now 2nd and 2 as the Redbirds are inside the 25-yard line now. Rittenhouse throws it out. It's Dylan Lord who shakes himself away from a tackler, and he's got another first down before he's angled out of bounds by Jordan McClown on the play. And the Redbirds are moving the football here on their opening drive.
You know, once again, Northern Iowa was loading the box there. It was a man look there on the defensive side of the ball. Tommy spit it out, and that was just Dylan Lord making a good play again. You're gonna hear his name a lot today.
Second catch of the game now for Dylan Lord. 1st and 10 for Illinois State. Inside the red zone now. It's Dawson again, and he bangs ahead inside the 15. He's still moving the pile down to the 10-yard line. Strong move here by Vic Dawson. .5'11", 220 pounds. He is a strong young man. So it'll be 2nd and 2 now. The Redbirds down to the Northern Iowa 10-yard line. This is the 10th play of this drive. Started back on Illinois State's 25-yard line. Rittenhouse to throw. End zone, incomplete. He was looking at Luke Maylander. Good coverage on the play that time from Northern Iowa's Isaiah Pinks.
How about a little 13 personnel there out of your Redbirds? That's 3 tight ends, 1 running back, and they got Maylander singled up there out there, an athletic young receiver that they want to see in more action today, and that was good to see.
Dawson stays in the backfield now. Redbirds looking at 3rd and 2. And the give is to Dawson, and he plows ahead inside the 5-yard line, so the Redbirds get a first down. It'll be 1st and goal.
Kurt, can we talk about Victor Dawson on contact, running through some of that? I mean, I love to see that. Again, Victor Dawson has been an incredible addition to this Redbird offense throughout the season, watching him play, watching tape on him. He just keeps driving his legs on contact. It's great to see.
4 carries for 22 yards on the drive now for Dawson. 1st and goal for Illinois State inside the 5. Maylander now in motion. Rittenhouse rolls, throws behind Scotty Preston, incomplete. Preston had a pair of touchdown catches last week, and he did have a step on his defender, but it's an incomplete pass.
UNI has one of the better red zone defenses in the Missouri Valley, and that's just Tony Peterson, the offensive coordinator, getting Tommy Rittenhouse in the move there. Better ball placement. That's a touchdown, to be honest with you.
Yeah, the Panthers are one of the best red zone defenses in the country. On 2nd down, Rittenhouse going to keep it. Can he get to the pylon? He does. Touchdown, Redbirds. Illinois State cashes in a 13-play, 80-yard drive. It's Tommy Rittenhouse on the keeper.
Kurt, what did I say pre-snap? Rittenhouse's legs need to be contained. That's just him reading the defensive end there, simply thinking that he can beat the defense to the corner of the end zone there, and he did, using his legs once again. It's good to see out of Tommy Rittenhouse.
The point after from Maldonado is good, and the Redbirds cash in on their first offensive possession. Illinois State leads Northern Iowa 7-0 here at Hancock Stadium.
Look closely at this truck. You'll see hard work, a great adventure,
13 plays, and the Redbirds strike first, 7-0. The Redbirds wanted to get off to a quick start. This is what the Salukis did last week against Northern Iowa. They got them down right away. It was 17-0 before you could really find your seat. And it changes, obviously, your plays. It changes the play calls. And so the Redbirds wanted to do this and get the Panthers on their heels right off the bat. Hodge back to receive the kick. He's going to come up and take it at about the 14-yard line. Good, excellent special teams again. The Redbirds have done a great job on special teams. Ben Cooper's made 2 big plays on kick returns for that Illinois State special teams unit. We'll step aside here. We're just underway here. 4:54 to go first quarter. 7-0 Redbirds. Room is what we understand there at Northern Iowa, which is why he's getting the start today. He had a big second half, or at least a couple of touchdown passes late in the fourth quarter. He's going to flip this one out to Jackson in the flat. Turns it upfield, and he's got a first down. That's going to be a 12-yard pickup on first down.
Just recognizing something from a quarterback perspective. He had Tiny Camp screaming in his face right there, and he delivered a perfect pass on a bubble screen right there, and then the receiver got upfield. That was a great play.
Yeah, he's showing some composure here in his first start. 25 yards passing on 3 out of 3 out of the gates here. First and 10, the ball moved up now to the 32-yard line. And there's an incomplete pass. He was throwing to the sideline. Intended receiver was Briggs Houston. The history between these two teams, this is meeting number 41, with the Panthers leading the all-time series 23-17. Redbirds have won 3 of the last 4 games against the Panthers. First incompletion for Jackson Daly. 2nd and 10 now from the 32-yard line. Price in motion. We're seeing Bay Bowie get the carry for the first time. Harrison Bay Bowie picked up a couple. He is an Eastern Illinois transfer. The Panthers hit the transfer portal and hit the state of Illinois pretty well. They've got Bay Bowie from Eastern Illinois. They've got Crandall, one of the Western Illinois former players. We mentioned already that Jackson Daly started his career at Arkansas State. 3rd and 8 now. Daly swarmed under. The Redbirds come in and they get him. Stephan again, he's had a couple of plays in that Panther backfield.
I mean, Daly's doing a good job of keeping his eyes downfield there. He's just got a lot of pressure on him there. As a quarterback, there's not much more you can do there.
Anthony Corona was in there too, applying the pressure. The Salukis had 4 sacks against Northern Iowa last week. Redbirds come up with a big one there on 3rd down. Pettinger in to punt it away, his second punt of the afternoon. It's going to bounce. Redbirds try to avoid it there, and it's going to be down at about the 38-yard line.
Eddie Casper needs to make sure he's calling off his teammates there. Peter coming and get away, get away.
2:51 to go first quarter. Illinois State with the football when we come back, and a 7-0 lead.
Dear Friday, let's put good times in gear. We've got power tailgates to power game days. And a trip.
Butler with you here on Marquee for Missouri Valley Football Conference action. Glad that you're alongside on this first day of November. And the Redbirds will start this possession at their own 39-yard line. They scored on their first possession an 80-yard drive. On first down, Rittenhouse to Dylan Lord. That's his 3rd target and his 3rd catch.
Great catch there by Dylan Lord. I think kind of looking back at this first drive, we saw a lot of inside zone, a lot of run plays there out of Illinois State. Don't be surprised here soon if all of a sudden you see a play action pass over the top. That UNI has been loading the box a lot here. They've had a single high safety for most of the time, run a 3-week coverage, but don't be surprised here soon.
Pick up a 4 on the play, 2nd and 6. We're seeing Seth Glatz in the game. His first carry is a big one for Illinois State. Up the middle, first down yardage. So the Redbirds have used Wenkers Wright, Vic Dawson, and now Seth Glatz, who had a big game last week against South Dakota. He had a 2nd quarter drive where he did most of the heavy lifting, and a nice carry that time for the transfer from Western Illinois. He picked up 12. It's a first down for the Redbirds, and Glatz stays in the backfield. And on play action, Rittenhouse with time, throws downfield. He's got a man, Luke Maylander inside the 5.
And how about right on cue, a little play action pass there, just like we were talking about a little bit ago, Kurt. UNI continues to load the box and bring pressure, and Tommy Rittenhouse and Luke Maylander just made him pay right there. And how about Tommy's feet there, Kurt? He is just relaxed. He is calm. O-line did a great job blocking there.
And it's Glatz up the middle. Touchdown, Illinois State.
Great touchdown run there. I mean, the seat's just parted there. I don't even know if he got touched there, but I just want to go back to Tommy Rittenhouse on that pass. I mean, play action pass. Believe it was a max protection there by the offensive line. I mean, Tommy's feet are just so relaxed. He looks calm back there. Different than when I saw him a few years ago as a freshman. He's just back there calm, and he is excited to play quarterback position.
Seth Glatz with his first rushing touchdown of the season. He has a receiving score and now a rushing touchdown. Had a big run on that drive, and he caps it off with a short touchdown run. And Illinois State now has 14 on the board after a 4-play, 61-yard drive. 2 impressive drives for the Redbird offense.
2 impressive drives. Like I said, Tommy Rittenhouse looks calm back there. He's not forcing anything. It's fun to watch this Redbird offense operating right now. Explosive plays all over the board. You and I might have to change things up. They're bringing a lot of pressure. Like I said, they're loading the box. Don't be surprised. They have a very multiple defense. They like to show a lot of different things. It'll be interesting to see kind of how they combat some of these Illinois State plays they have going on.
Redbirds with 141 yards of total offense already here in the game. 83 yards on the ground. They've moved the ball well on the ground, setting up the long play down the field. Yeah, we're looking down now, and we see that Winkers Wright is on the Redbird sideline, and he's in a sling here. So he may have obviously gotten banged up on that first series. So Dawson and Glatz are going to have to do the bulk of the work rushing the football here the rest of the game, you would think, as that kick goes through the end zone. Here's the play that was that play by Winkers Wright, that big run in that first drive, and you could see that he's slow to get up on the play. And he's on that Redbird sideline in a sling right now. And the Redbirds have really faced some injuries here the last couple of weeks. We mentioned Daniel Sobkowitz, who they hope to get back, the All-American wide receiver, now sidelined for his second game with an injury. But if you lose Winkers Wright, too, a preseason all-conference guy, boy, this time of the year, that's what happens.
100% it's what happens. I mean, he's been banged up a few times throughout his career, but one thing about him, I'm looking at him smiling on the sideline, being a good leader right now. That's something that Winkers Wright has always been a part of.
First down, and Jackson Daly keeps it. And he picks up about 2 or 3 yards on the play. Patrick Bauer in on that stop. It'll be 2nd and 7.
It'll be interesting to see here if Northern Iowa stays on script. And what I mean by script, usually a team and an offensive coordinator has about 15 to 20 plays they have lined up at the beginning of the game that they're going to run. It'll be interesting to see here if they kind of stay on rhythm, stay on schedule with that script. But again, I would like to see Jackson Daly drop back. He has calm feet back there. He looks good back there. He's a big body. I would love to see him drop back a few times and let him have some pure progressions, get the ball out of his hand.
3-yard pickup on the play. 2nd and 7 now. Under a minute to go here, first quarter. Daly over the middle, has a man, and he's completed pass there out to about the 45-yard line. That's a 20-yard pickup, but the receiver who made the play is still down, slow to get up. That's Tyson Kershaw, but he's now back up on his feet and heading to the sideline.
Just again, right there. Like I said, I want to see him sit back there. He has calm feet. He looks good in there. He's a big body quarterback, and he's went through a pure progression. Started his eyes from the right side of the field, progressed through, and got to his backside dig there. That was great to see out of him.
First catch of the afternoon for Kershaw, who leaves the game. Final seconds here, first quarter. First down now from the 45-yard line. Spay Bowie up the middle, and he gets 2 yards, and that's going to be the final play of this first quarter. So the Redbirds put up 14 points on their first 2 drives, and they head to the second quarter with a 14-0 advantage on the Northern Iowa Panthers. weekends just got better at the Barrel House. They're now serving brunch every Saturday and Sunday. Think mimosas, scratch-made classics, bold southern flavors with a twist. Whether you're craving avocado toast, stuffed French toast, a spicy Bloody Mary, or just good vibes with friends, lunch is on at the Barrel House every Saturday and Sunday starting at 8 a.m. Come hungry, leave happy at the Barrel House.
Kurt, you ever been to the Barrel House? It's a pretty
I
good
have.
spot.
It's really
a pretty
good.
good spot.
It has. It has filled my belly before. 15 minutes back on the clock here as we start the second quarter of action. Kurt Pegler, Zach Annexstad, Kalia Butler, our Redbird production crew with you here at Hancock Stadium. Illinois State with a 14-0 lead on Northern Iowa. The Panthers with the football here. And this is Jackson. Can he make a move? He can't. He tried to get to the edge and he's dragged down, and the Redbirds get a nice tackle for loss, and that is Ty Niekamp, who makes a living doing that.
And look at Ty Niekamp getting up there with a little bit of swagger, shaking his finger, no, no, no. But I'll tell you what, this Illinois State defensive line is stuffing the UNI offensive line. They are a brick wall right now. That running back, you saw him sitting back there, he had nowhere to go.
Niekamp is the defensive player of the week in the Missouri Valley Football Conference after his 14-tackle performance last week at South Dakota. 11 of those 14 were solo tackles, and he comes up with a tackle for loss there. That makes this 3rd and 11 now for the Panther offense. Jackson Daly flushed out of the pocket now. Rolling, flipping, and that pass is knocked down, nearly intercepted. The Redbird secondary was all over that play.
They were all over that play from the go. That's why he scrambled out to his right away, offhand. Patrick Bauer is chasing him down fast there. And I'll tell you what, I don't even know if Patrick Bauer gets the recognition that he deserves. He is a long player, and he is the body type of a Power 4 player. I'm telling you right now, he is a good player out there.
Cam Wilson on coverage of that play. And so the punting unit is on now, and this is Noah Pettinger's 3rd punt of the afternoon. He gets it away, and Eddie Casper's going to let that bounce, and that's going to take a Northern Iowa bounce and roll to about the 15-yard line or 10-yard line, and that's where it is down. And let's go to our sideline reporter, Kalia Butler.
If you walk into Coach Stepsis' office at UNI, you'll notice 2 Post-it notes hanging on the wall, both written years ago by his then 5-year-old daughter. One reads, "I love you, Dad," and the other says, "Be yourself." Coach told me he looks at these notes often, especially after tough losses. They remind him to stay true to who he is and to who this program wants to be. He said strong starts can be forgotten and poor starts can be overcome, as long as they are true to themselves.
Todd Stepsis in his first year at Northern Iowa after a successful career with the Drake Bulldogs. Incomplete pass. Luke Maylander, the intended receiver, had that ball knocked out of his hands, and so it'll be 2nd down for the Redbirds.
Maylander, I've seen strong hands on him of all season. I know he just took a big fall there. Would love to see him hang on. He's kind of shaking his arm out right now, but would love to see him hang on to that ball there.
Vic Dawson is the Redbird in the backfield again. Winker's right banged up on the first drive of the game after a nice run, and so he's on the Redbird sideline in a sling and presumably out for the rest of this game. Rittenhouse to keep, gets to the edge and gets a 1st down. He picked up 11.
Kurt, you ever heard about Tommy Rittenhouse's legs? I mean, something that we see all the time. Does a great job. There was an RPO. He kind of extended. He was almost thinking about flicking it out there late to the hitch. But sometimes that's scary on RPO with your offensive lineman getting downfield and getting the flag there. So it's a good job of him hanging on to the ball, picking up what he can, getting that 1st down.
Redbirds already have 95 yards rushing in the game. Now off play action. Rittenhouse rolling, he flips it out, and he's got Casper who makes the play, comes back and makes it a nice catch, his 1st of the afternoon. He picks up another 14, and the Redbirds have a 1st down.
Eddie Casper usually isn't an outside receiver, but talking to the coaches throughout the week, talking to Eddie Casper earlier in the week, interviewing him, was something that he thought he might be in for this week with Daniel Sopkowitz being out. Just a great NFL-style comeback there. Good job coming back to the ball. What a throw on the run by Tommy Rittenhouse there. Tommy just looks confident out there today, I'll tell you that much.
1st and 10 now from the 39-yard line, and the give is to Dawson, and he's up the middle. He picks up a couple. It'll be 2nd down. Jalen Pettis made the stop for Northern Iowa. He had some help as well.
Illinois State's moving the ball well here, but UNI's defense is going to hang in there. They have some great athletes out there. They're long. They have some speed out there. Don't think they're just going to give up here without a fight. I think they're going to Illinois State's offense is still for a long game here.
Gain of 3 on the play. 2nd and 7 now from the 42-yard line. Dawson again. He picks up another couple. It'll be 3rd and about 3. Well, we'll see Dawson and Seth Glatz the remainder of this game, so long as Winkers Wright is on the sideline. We just hope it's not a serious injury for him in his senior year, such a big part of this Redbird offense. 3rd and 6. Lord in motion. Rittenhouse to throw. He's got Casper again. His 2nd catch of the drive and another 1st down.
That was clearly man coverage pre-snap. You saw Dylan Lord's defensive back running across the field with him. And again, that's just a reason why we added motions on the offensive side of the ball and why Tony Peterson did that there. Man coverage. Eddie Casper kind of had a run route we call on the backside, just a flattened slant route, and he just spun out the backside there and picked up a big gain there. Good job by Eddie and Tommy.
Redbirds cash in on 3rd down. Fresh set of downs here as they're inside the Northern Iowa 45-yard line. Rittenhouse with time. Now he's got Dawson in the flat. He picks up about 7. Another nice gain for the Illinois State offense. Calvin Jaworski up from his safety's position to make the stop here.
Once again, I mean, you guys have heard me talk about it a few times already, but Tommy Rittenhouse just looks calm back there right now. His feet are calm. He looks relaxed. He looks poised. This might be the best I've seen him start a game so far this season.
Pickup of 6. And now Dawson up the middle. He bangs ahead, drags a tackler with him. He took Joe Hall right with him down inside the 20-yard line. Dawson's having an afternoon here. That's his 7th carry of the game, and the Redbirds are feeling it again as they're inside the red zone.
Don't be surprised here if you and I bring some pressure here. Try to get him on a field goal range.
Glatz is now in the game, and that's him with the football. He spins ahead, stopped right about the line of scrimmage. He was trying to change direction there, didn't have anywhere to go.
I just want to emphasize again, Northern Iowa has one of the better red zone defenses in the Missouri Valley. So, like I said, don't be surprised. They like to bring some pressure down here. They like to play man coverage, especially when you get lower down in there. Like I said, don't be surprised if they bring some pressure here to try to sack Tommy Rittenhouse and get him out of field goal range.
Loss of 1 on the carry. 2nd and 11 for the Redbirds. Rittenhouse flips it out. Nice catch that time. That was Lord who had to come back to the ball. We've got a flag on the play. He's dragged down about the 11-yard line. Rylan Crawford was also over in that vicinity, the Illinois State wide receiver. Both he and Lord kind of in that same pattern. It's our first penalty of the afternoon.
Pass interference. Offense. Number 9. 15-yard penalty. 2nd down.
So that is Rylan Crawford.
You know, I think what happened there, seeing the replay, I think he's just making contact with the defender before the ball was thrown. That's obvious offensive pass interference there.
Crawford had a big game for the Redbirds last week. He had 6 catches, his first 6 of the season. He and Dylan Lord combining for 14 catches in that game. And again, if you're trying to replace Daniel Sopkowicz, that's the way to do it.
They were tremendous last week.
So they're going to move the ball all the way out now to the 34-yard line. It's 2nd and 26. And Dawson's back in the game in the backfield for the Redbirds. Rittenhouse to throw. He's got Maylander, who's back in the game, who makes a nice catch, and he's up to about the 21-yard line.
You know what I like there out of Maylander, Kurt? We call that a drop step as a receiver. Drop your back foot, open your hip, get downfield. We see too many receivers, especially young receivers, dancing around too much. So just dropping that foot, getting forward, getting as many yards as you can. That's a great job out of a young receiver right there in Maylander.
13-yard pickup. So it's now 3rd and 15 for the Redbirds.
They're showing man coverage across the board here, Kurt. I'm surprised they could bail out.
Rittenhouse throws from Maylander in the end zone. He made the play, but he's out of bounds. He caught that football, but could not come down inbounds. Joe Hall on the coverage.
How about you and I on 3rd and 15 there going man coverage? They just said our guys are better than your guys on the outside. Rittenhouse tested that. Great catch by Maylander, but unfortunately out of bounds there.
Redbirds going to keep the offense on the field, or are they going to bring the field goal unit on? They're going to bring Matt Maldonado. Boy, they thought about it there for a while, but now they're going to bring Maldonado out. It's going to be a 40-yard field goal attempt here. Maldonado was 8 out of 10 this season. We got a whistle before the kick.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
Kurt, there's a few things we can't do down here in the red zone for any offense. We can't have penalties to back ball up like they did. We can't turn the ball over, of course, and we can't take sacks as a quarterback. Those are a few things. That's 2 penalties here on this drive that's kind of stalled the Redbirds out in the red zone. That's something that can't happen.
And so now they back it up 5 more yards. This will be a 45-yard attempt for Maldonado. Out of the hold from Hayden Futch. That kick is no good. And so the Panthers feel good about what happened just there. They turn the Redbirds away.
Well, we say Northern Iowa has one of the better Missouri Valley defenses, red zone defense in the Missouri Valley.
And kind of a bend but don't break scenario there where the Redbirds were moving the ball and looked like they were poised to put more points on the board, but the missed field goal attempt, and so now the Panthers will have the football out at the 27-yard line. And we are going to take a break. 8:59 to go until halftime. Illinois State 14, Northern Iowa nothing here at Hancock Stadium. It's at 10 now. Ball is at the 27-yard line. Off play action. Daly with time over the middle, and it's intercepted. Shad Nakuba. I'm sorry, LaShavion Brown with the pick. That's his first interception of the game, and so now the Redbirds have a chance to turn the tables on the Panthers.
I mean, watching that play, Daly had him right there coming across the field on a deep over. Just overshot him there a little bit, let the ball leak out to the left side. Would just love to see him put in his body there, especially with the corner sitting out there. Protect his receiver, just put in his gut like I've seen him do a million times.
And so just when the Panthers had hoped that maybe they could have some momentum, the Redbirds get it right back after a takeaway. And on first down, the pass goes to Dawson. And he's got a couple of blockers in front of him. Got a nice block downfield from Luke Maylander and picked up 11 on the play.
So this UNI defense is just loading the box continually. I know watching film they show a lot of 3-week, cover 3, man coverage, but I think they're just out there saying we're just going to drop the ball and go man on man.
Redbird defense has 8 interceptions on the season. They just created their 11th turnover, and now the offense trying to cash in here with points off turnovers. Dawson gets back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe a yard gain there. A couple of yards maybe.
Kurt Rittenhouse there a little pissed off about that defensive end rushing upfield to give him a little chip there.
Seven carries for 50 yards now for Dawson. His 8th carry takes it inside the 20-yard line. And so now the Redbirds will look at 3rd down again. Redbirds are 39% team on 3rd down. But they've been good here this afternoon. They have 3 out of their first 4 opportunities. They've cashed in on 3rd down.
Kurt, the Redbirds here in a 4-by-1 formation we call. This could cause problems for this defense.
Rittenhouse. This is Javon Charles, and he's got a lot of room, and he's in the end zone. Touchdown Redbirds.
What a play call here by Tony Peterson, the offensive coordinator at Illinois State. I mean, they're showing a naked front side. Javon Charles just acting like he's going to run a shallow, and he's just sitting backside there for a tight end scram. That's a lovely play call. Great to see.
It's a 19-yard touchdown pass from Rittenhouse to Charles, his 3rd touchdown of the season. And the Redbirds do take advantage of the LaShavion Brown interception, and they turn it into points. Illinois State 21, Northern Iowa nothing. 7:20 to play, 2nd quarter.
Look closely at this truck. You'll see hard work, a great adventure, and so much more. Inside and out, it's designed for the family, the road trip, and the most amazing.
Comes up with a big play with LaShavion Brown the pick, and it's a Javon Charles touchdown. And it's a 21-0 Illinois State lead. Right, when Northern Iowa was just trying to generate some sort of momentum, you figure maybe their defense turning the Redbirds away would give them a little boost. It just hasn't happened for them.
I feel like they're in desperate need of an explosive play. Get the ball rolling. Get Jackson Daly comfortable back there again. It's just something that you'd like to see out of them.
So Matt Maldonado's going to kick it away. Jaden Hodge back to receive for the Panthers. And he had the fair catch. Well, when you take a look at the numbers, the Panthers are at or near the bottom in the Missouri Valley Football Conference in total points and yards. It's just been a real labor for the Panthers to score and to move the football, and that's why, you know, they make a quarterback change. They're just trying to get a spark here.
They're trying to, and I would love to see it. I mean, I'm cheering for them to do something here. I think getting Daly confident again, that's just what we're looking for. Get him a couple dropbacks, get the ball out of his hand, get some completions, and get this run game going. This UNI offensive line is a good crew. I just like to see them get a little more push up front to get this run game going as well.
Yeah, new system, 9 new coaches here for Todd Stepsis' team, and just trying to create some offense and make something going, but nothing is going there as they try to run the ball with Bill Jackson over the right side. He's not going anywhere.
We're not giving away any awards yet, Kurt, but this Illinois State defensive line as a whole, I mean, they are just a brick wall up there right now. It's been impressive to see so far.
Just 23 total yards on the ground so far for the Panthers here as we are midway through this second quarter. Loss of 1 on the play. About 4 Redbirds in on that tackle. 2nd and 11. Daly keeps it this time, and he gets into the secondary. And that's a nice run. He picked up 9, maybe 10 on the play.
Great run there by Daly, and something they did there was they had their running back split out wide. That was a receiver, actually. Had him coming to the backfield there, and that's a man zone indicator. Nobody ran with them, no linebacker ran with them, so they know they had zone coverage there.
9-yard run, so it's 3rd and 2 now for the Panthers. Daly, again, not afraid of contact, likes to run the football. Now he's going to be under center on 3rd and 2. Harrison Bayboui is the running back there for the Panthers.
Little NFL action, they just canned the play. Probably checking it away from pressure here.
And it's Bayboui up the middle, and he's got the first down before he's dragged down on the play by Solomon Aduma. First down for the Panthers.
That was impressive there out of Daly. He canned that play. I mean, they probably already had a play called. They had a run play going to pressure. He saw pressure. I'm sure he's coached to can that. We saw him tapping his head there as a can, flipping that run play away. Good job by the offensive line, separating, getting the hole there for the running back. The running back picking up the first down. That was awesome to see there out of Daly in the offense.
7-yard pickup and a first down now for Northern Iowa. It's their 5th first down here of the game. Daly's going to keep this one, and he's tackled right about the line of scrimmage. Picked up a yard. A lot of movement going on. They're trying to get some eye wash up there and create some space.
They are, and like I said earlier, a lot of that can be man zone indicators. Some of it can just be some hoorah trying to get the defense confused, but a lot of that is man zone indicators, and a lot of that is for the quarterback. For example, right there, that was a QB draw. He probably had the option to throw the ball to the running back there, but they want to get that running back out there, drag a linebacker outside, lighten the box for a QB draw there.
Nate Thompson, the offensive coordinator for the Panthers, and trying to create some space for his team. That was a 2-yard pickup, so it's 2nd and 8. Daly looks to pass again. He's flushed out of the pocket. He throws, and he has his man. That's his tight end that makes the play, Derek Anderson, the senior from Sioux City, Iowa.
Well, they might have got rough in the passer there, Kurt.
We got a flag down.
They're going to protect the quarterback these days, Kurt. That's what they're going to do. Which is a former quarterback I am a fan of,
right.
Say.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense, number 56. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Well, the Redbirds are one of the least penalized team in the entire country. They're in the top 10 in fewest penalty yards and in fewest penalties against them, and yet they've had 2 costly ones, a pass interference on the offensive, and now here a roughing the passer on the defensive side. So those are 2 big penalties here this quarter against Illinois State.
That's hard there for Garrett Steffen. I mean, that's a hard play. They're just seeing him bring him to the ground late there. But that's hard for a defensive lineman to give up on that play right there.
Moves the ball all the way up to the Illinois State 41-yard line. This is Jackson. He bounces to the outside. Boy, about 3 or 4 Redbirds finally there meet him. He was trying to get to the edge and get to the corner, but he couldn't do it.
Hey, what did Niekamp bring up earlier in the week? He said, we tackled well last week. We want to see it again. I mean, that's what we're seeing today out here, Kurt. What do you say?
Yeah, the Redbirds have said For most of the year, the tackling has been an issue, but defensive coordinator Travis Niekamp said that was the best game from a tackle standpoint that his team had last week in the win at South Dakota. And I think it has carried over to this one so far.
Most definitely.
Under 4 minutes to go here in the half. Panthers trying to put some points up on the board for the first time here.
Don't be surprised if this is 4-down territory and called as such for the rest of this game down here in this zone.
Jackson again. Not a whole lot of room, but he does turn that into about a 3-yard gain. It didn't look like he would even get back to the line of scrimmage, but he was able to slide through and make it a positive play.
Yeah, good job by Jackson there. Just being patient back there, letting things kind of develop and picking up a few yards there.
St. Louis kid who transferred from Tulsa. Averaging 4 yards a carry coming into the game. But again, they have not been able to really rush the ball. Just 44 rushing yards here this afternoon against that Redbird defense.
Again, Kurt, don't be surprised if this is called, that if the offensive coordinator, the head coach probably said in the headset, hey, you have 2 downs here to get this. So don't be surprised if they run a run play here. They have 12 personnel out there right now. Don't be surprised to see a run play or a quick pass, knowing they have another down to get it.
Now they want to talk things over, it looks like, as the Panthers have called timeout.
Northern Iowa, they're first.
You know, watching film throughout the week.
Hold that thought. We'll get that when we come back. 2:54 to go here in the first half. Illinois State 21 and Northern Iowa 0.
They're coming on a similar look here. They have 12 personnel on the field. Don't be surprised if you see a run play here on 3rd and 6.
Bay Bowie in the backfield with quarterback Jackson Daly. Hayden Price in motion. Daly to throw. Has a man, and he's got a first down. Making the catch is Tyson Kershaw, and so they cash in on 3rd down.
That was awesome. They're out of Daly sitting back there. Once again, calm feet. And that's a big boy throw to the field there. That's not something that everybody in the country can make. That's him showing his arm strength there. Once again, great throw to the field there. Receiver getting upfield, making sure he gets the first down. Again, Daly's a big quarterback. I want to see him use his arm a little bit more out here.
3 catches for 26 yards on the game now for the wide receiver Tyson Kershaw. And it's a first down for the Panthers as we approach the 2-minute timeout here. Daly steps up, being chased. He's going to keep it this time. And he gets to about the 21-yard line before he's wrapped up. Niekamp is in on that hit, and we have reached the 2-minute timeout. So the Panthers trying to put some points on the board before halftime. It's 21-0, Illinois State leading Northern Iowa here at Hancock Stadium. 2 minutes to go in the half.
Dear Friday.
Two minutes remain here in the first half at Hancock Stadium. Kurt Pegler, Zach Annexted, Kalia Butler, our Redbird production crew with you as Illinois State leads Northern Iowa 21-0. The Panthers trying to get their first points of the afternoon as they have a 2nd and 4 now at the Illinois State 21-yard line.
Are you TV or what are you? What? I am that and broad like TV. Oh shit.
This is Bay Bowie up the middle, and he slides ahead for a couple. He's going to be just shy of that first down marker, and the Panthers will face 3rd and 1.
And Kurt, I think that was the first time we saw 21 personnel on the field. It's 2 running backs, 1 tight end, 2 receivers. And again, I think both those running backs are 2 of their better players on offense. I think that's something we could see more in the second half and to finish out this half.
The Panthers 3 of 6 on 3rd down with their conversion rate here. 3rd and 1. And it's a keeper, and that's first down yardage as Jackson Daly just powers his way ahead inside the 15-yard line. Coming up at the half, we'll have our Toyota out-of-town scoreboard, plus we'll break down the first half, which includes stats and highlights. That's coming up with our halftime report in 1 minute and 22 seconds of clock time. 1st and 10 now for the Panthers at the Illinois State 14-yard line. Jackson Daly's going to flip it out. Oh, big hit that time, but that's Zach Memmert, the tight end, with his first catch, his 5th catch of the year, his first of the game. Picks up 4 yards down to the 10-yard line.
In the boom there, huh?
So we're under 1 minute to go now with the clock running.
Some people might be sitting home here right now being like, hey, you and I, hurry up. They're playing a game here. They do not want Illinois State to get the ball back in their hands against a defense that's been struggling today. They want to make sure they run some of this clock out so Illinois State doesn't have much to work with here if they score a touchdown. Once again, 21 personnel here, Kurt.
Off play action, incomplete pass. He was trying to get Jackson out of the backfield, and so it'll be 3rd and 6 now.
Daly's just got to step into that throw. I mean, like I said, he's a big body. He's a good player. I think he just needs to boost up his confidence, just rip that ball right in the running back's chest there. Again, this is a big 3rd down. Don't be surprised if this is 4-down territory. There's an argument both ways. Either take your points. You don't always want to chase points. There's an argument to kick a field goal here. There's also an argument to say, hey, you got 2 downs here to get this touchdown, get this first down.
Yeah, the Redbirds will receive the kick to start the 3rd quarter. So the Panthers certainly don't want to give them any chance to add to their lead here They'd rather try to run this thing down, get some points, and leave the field without having Illinois State's offense back on the field. Daly on third down, over the middle, incomplete. He was trying to, again, connect with Kershaw, where the Redbirds brought some pressure, and Daly finished the play on his backside.
He had him there for a second, just needed to give him a high, firm ball. Illinois State went man coverage there. Again, I was just my man on your man. Daly just a little bit high there.
We're going to see Max Bartacek to attempt the field goal. This will be a 28-yarder. He's 7 of 10 on the season. Try to put the Panthers on the board here right before halftime. Snap is good, as is the kick. And so the Panthers have their first points of the afternoon on the field goal from Max Bartacek, and they cap off a 14-play drive with their first points of the afternoon.
And that was their best drive of the day right there. Daly looked a little bit more confident on that drive, was flowing a little better. I mean, that's big points in the first half, especially with Illinois State getting the ball to start the second half here. That is humongous points to end this first half and hopefully get a little momentum going, a little bit of confidence going into the second half.
So the Redbirds have 24 seconds remaining here. They do have all 3 of their timeouts, and we'll have to see what the field position looks like after the kick here. But again, the Redbirds will receive to begin the third quarter, so they're going to get the football back here quickly. And we will hear from head coach Brock Spack as he leaves the field and get his thoughts on this first half of action.
And don't be surprised here if with 3 timeouts, 24 seconds, don't be surprised if Brock Spack told Tony Peterson, the offensive coordinator, hey, we got 3 timeouts. I don't mind if you take a couple shots here, or maybe they bust an inside zone run play here. And again, 3 timeouts, anything could happen here, really.
Another strength to the Panthers' special teams has been their kick coverage unit. So we'll see how this plays out here in the final 24 seconds of this second quarter. 21-3, Illinois State to lead. The Redbirds have had 4 drives, and they've scored on 3 of them. And not much to work with as far as the time left on the clock here in the first half. Check to kick, and that's going to go into the end zone and a touchback. And so the Redbirds will have the ball out at the 25-yard line. Dylan Lord, by the way, was back to receive. Winkers Wright has been on kick coverage, but again, if you just joined us, he was hurt on the first series for the Redbirds. Left the game. He's down in front of us. We can see where he's at with a sling on his right arm, and so he is out for the rest of this game. So we're not going to see him returning kicks or in the backfield for Illinois State. Redbird offense now begins the drive here with 24 seconds to go at their own 25-yard line. Looks like they're content to run the ball with Seth Glatz. He gets out to about the 30-yard line. And the Redbirds may be content to just call it a half and head to the locker room.
Yeah, Kurt, that's just a safe play right there. If they would have busted that run for a 20-yard gain or something, they would have banged the timeout and kept it rolling. But that's just a safe play. They're content with their 21-3 lead. 258 yards of total offense there for the Redbirds. How about that one? 264, excuse me.
Yeah, add those last couple of yards on after the Glatz run there, and Illinois State will head to the locker room with a 21-3 advantage, just giving up those 3 points there at the last 30 seconds that they have. I don't know what else you could say. Just a very effective first half, both offensively and defensively for the Redbirds.
I think a dominating first half there out of Illinois State. I think the offense is doing about whatever they want, to be honest with you, except for they got down the red zone there. They stalled out once. They missed that field goal. But it was a pretty impressive first half there at Illinois State's offense. Like I said, if we're giving out awards early for the first half there, how about that Illinois State defensive line? I mean, they are stuffing that offensive line.
And our Kalia Butler is standing by with head coach Brock Spack of the Redbirds.
Coach, quarterback Tommy Rittenhouse doing a little bit of everything offensively right now and doing so with confidence. What have you liked about his performance so far?
I like all that. Doing stuff with confidence, and he's throwing well and pulling the ball down when he has to. He's doing a good job with the offense.
You've held this Panthers team without a touchdown in the first half. How do you keep the pressure going defensively in the second?
Well, just got to keep doing what we're doing. We're playing awfully hard and getting off the blocks and tackling well. Those are the first axioms of playing good defense. Got to keep doing that.
Coach, thank you.
Okay, you bet.
Redbirds 21, Northern Iowa 3. Halftime at Hancock Stadium, and our halftime report is up next.
here from Normal.
Country Financial and SEFCU are proud supporters of Illinois State women's athletics. Here's an upcoming look at Redbird women's sports.
Dear Friday, let's put good times in gear. We've got power tailgates to power games.
21 and Northern Iowa 3. Kurt Pegler, Zach Anixtad, Kalia Butler, our Redbird production crew with you here from Missouri Valley Conference football. An impressive first half for the Redbirds. Let's take a look at some of those first half highlights from the first 30 minutes of play. Illinois State scored on its first 2 possessions and looked good doing it.
I mean, I think Illinois State kind of had their way there in that first half, offensively and defensively. I just see Wankers Wright kind of got banged up on that play, but they've picked up without him.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's the leader on this offense, but they picked up without him. Tommy Rittenhouse looked great out there.
Wankers Wright hurt on that play, left the game. He's on the sidelines here, but yeah, Tommy Rittenhouse with a great touchdown run and a terrific pass down there to Luke Maylander, and he has looked like an all-conference type player for Illinois State. That was Seth Glatz in the end zone, as he and Vic Dawson have picked up the running slack in the absence of Wankers Wright. And then here's that pick. It was LaShavion Brown who came up from his safety position and made the play, and the Redbirds then turned that into points.
Again here, Javon Charles in this tight end screen pass. Everything going on front side is all just a bunch of hoorah. Toss it backside to Javon Charles, and he made a great play on that.
Take a look at the numbers here for these first half. As you mentioned, Illinois State with 264 total yards of offense, 133 through the air, 131, so almost right down the middle there. They've just done a nice job, and even the time of possession about the same. But I mean, the top line says it all. It's 21-3.
And what's one of the biggest things I'm looking at here is turnovers. Obviously, UNI's only turned the ball over once. It's not horrendous, but I'm looking at Illinois State with 0 turnovers. Tommy Rittenhouse has taken care of the football this afternoon. He hasn't put the ball in harm's way yet. And the running backs are taking good care of the ball when they have it in their hands.
And the Redbirds turn that turnover into 7 points after the interception by LaShavion Brown. It was a touchdown by Javon Charles. 21-3, Illinois State leads Northern Iowa, and our halftime report continues from Hancock Stadium in just a moment. matchup 21-3. The Redbirds come in ranked 17th in the country, trying to improve to 6-3 on the year. Kurt Pegler and Zach Annexstad with you. This is not the only game going on in the Missouri Valley Conference, so let's take a look at our Toyota out-of-town scoreboard. The rest of the teams that are playing in action on this first Saturday in November. It's brought to you by our Peoria, Pekin, and Bloomington Toyota dealers, proud supporters of Redbird Athletics. South Dakota, trying to bounce back from their loss to Illinois State last week, has a fourth quarter lead on North Dakota. It's Indiana State in the second quarter, a lead on South Dakota State. That would be an upset if the Sycamores are able to pull that one off. North Dakota State has a 14-10 lead over Youngstown State, and Southern Illinois and Murray State are about 20 or so minutes away from getting that game going in Murray, Kentucky. That's first check of our out-of-town scoreboard, and we'll check in again on that thanks to the proud supporters of Redbird Athletics on that Toyota scoreboard. Back with more on our halftime show in just a moment.
Hey Redbird fans, I'm standing here with Mike Clinton.
State leads Northern Iowa. We get ready to start the third quarter here. Just moments ago, our Kalia Butler had a quick conversation with Todd Stepsis, the head coach of the Northern Iowa Panthers. Let's get her report from the sideline now.
Yeah, I spoke with Coach Stepsis when he ran back out to the field, and he said that the big plays by Illinois State are hurting them, trying to figure out how to minimize the yardage that they are getting on every single play, and then defensively or offensively for them, just trying to get something going. They put a little bit of a fire under their new quarterback that they have, who's starting for the first time, Jackson Daly, in this game. He said he gave him a good message just to give him a little bit of extra confidence to try and finish this thing out. But he said the biggest focus is just trying to slow down the Redbirds offensively.
Well, thank you, Khalil. Yeah, that is certainly big when you consider that the Redbirds have put 264 yards of total offense on the board here and 21 points on the scoreboard, and now Illinois State will get the ball to start the second half. Max Bartachek to begin our third quarter here, as he's going to kick it away, and it's a short kick, and it's Lord who calls for the fair catch. So the Redbirds will start this third quarter with the football. They had 5 drives, really 4. That last drive was just them running out the clock there. They really had 4 drives, and they scored on 3 of those 4 drives. Very efficient and effective offensive performance in that first half.
Very efficient, running the ball, passing the ball. Tommy Rittenhouse, like I've said a million times, looked calm back there. He looks in control. I'm looking to see more of that in the second half here out of them.
So Rittenhouse comes out with Victor Dawson as the Redbird tailback. And he's going to throw on first down. And there's Rylan Crawford, who comes back and makes the catch. His first of the game. He picks up 13 on the first play from scrimmage to start the third quarter.
Good job by Rittenhouse there, finding his receiver. The corner started up looking inside of the ball, meaning that he's going to bail, even though it looked like a man look at the beginning there. It's delivering the ball to Rylan Crawford there.
Rittenhouse is 12 of 16 for 157 yards. And this is Dawson, still on his feet, out to about midfield. He's got another Redbird first down before he's dragged down. We've got a Panther who's slow to get up on the play. And Dawson has had a productive game here.
How about Victor Dawson taking over in that backfield, Winkers Wright being out?
For an injury, the number 55 on the defense.
All right, the injured player is Owen Ostrowski, and he's been their top lineman this year. His brother Jack is one of the assistant coaches. Ostrowski is a transfer from Tulsa. We'll stand by and step away for the injured player. It's 21-3, Illinois State with the lead here in the third quarter. Back here to live action, a quick pass out to Dawson as Tommy Rittenhouse was flushed out of the pocket. Let's revisit your keys to the game here, Zach, and see how the Redbirds and the Panthers are doing here.
Yeah, let's take a look at these. They're going to pop up on your screen here. I mean, obviously Illinois State's kind of dominated this game so far. I think the biggest thing I want to look at here is Illinois State's defense limiting explosive plays. Ty Niekamp's defense is, Coach Niekamp's defense is something that the guys rally around him. He's been a great leader throughout his time. That's something that's been impressive today.
Dawson hit right at the line of scrimmage, but was able to squeeze ahead and pick up another couple. Tucker Langenberg had a good look at him there, but he bounced off that tackle and makes it a positive game. But the Redbirds are going to face 3rd and 5 here. We should tell you that Owen Ostrowski, who was the Panthers player who was hurt, did get up and made it off the field without any help. So hopefully that's a good sign for the Panthers. But Illinois State now faces 3rd and 5. The Redbirds were very good on 3rd down in the first half, converting on 4 of their 5 opportunities on 3rd down. Rittenhouse throws. It's Dylan Lord, who's wrapped up right after he made the play, and he might be short. That's Jordan McCloum who came up and made the hit, and looks like Dylan Lord's about 1.5 yards short of the marker. Will the Redbird offense stay on the field here?
Looks like they are, Kurt. Looks like this is 4-down territory for Tony Peterson's offense.
So the Redbirds stay on the field and go for a 4th down conversion. Illinois State on the season, 10 of 17 on 4th down. That's Maylander in motion, pressure coming. It's Dawson who gets tripped up, and he might be shy of the 1st down. The Panthers get a stop here. A good open field tackle. McCloud made a couple of big plays there on both 3rd and 4th downs, and so the Panthers stopped the Redbirds.
What a great tackle there in the flat. And what a ballsy call by this Illinois State offense. It's good to see them be aggressive, but once again, it's good to see Northern Iowa out there and getting a stop there.
Yeah, Jordan McCloud made the hit on Dylan Lord on 3rd down to keep Illinois State away from a 1st down, and then he makes the tackle open field on Victor Dawson. So big play there for the Panthers defense. Is that the spark that maybe transfers to the offensive side?
It could be. Jackson Daly gets something rolling for me here.
So the ball's at the 42-yard line now for the Panthers. Their first possession here of the 2nd half. This is Jackson. He works the right side for a couple. Been tough sledding from a rushing standpoint. 57 yards in the first half as a team for the Panthers.
And if I'm the UNI offensive coordinator at halftime, I'm telling my O-line, we got to get a push. We got to get a dent in that front. We're running inside zone. We're getting to our run plays. We got to get a push up front so that our running back has a little room to operate.
Seven carries for just 10 yards this afternoon for Bill Jackson. He picked up 3 on the play on 2nd down. Daly flips it out. That's his favorite target, his receiver J.C. Roquet, who makes the play, the Northern Iowa leading receiver, and he's angled out of bounds right about that 1st down marker. He's going to be just shy of it, looks like. It'll be 3rd and maybe a yard, or are they moving the sticks on him? Well, they've moved the yardage markers, although it's 3rd down, 3rd and 1. I think the linesmen have figured that out, that the 1st down marker has been moved. Now they're going to put everything back in place. So the Panthers will face 3rd and 1 at the 49-yard line here of Illinois State.
Time out on the field so we can reset the chains.
Now, Kurt, we saw a QB sneak earlier. Maybe we see another tush-push-esque play here.
Right, yeah. Big Jackson Daly. Most of the packages in his appearances, he played in 6 games prior to this, and he was a guy that was called upon to get these 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 yards with his big body, and he's going to line up under center here. But he starts today under center and has played the full game so far, not just on special packages. This is Harrison Bay-Bowie to the outside. He's got 1st down yardage and more, so a good call to the outside for the Panthers and a 1st down.
I like that play call there. Illinois State had the gaps filled up there. They get it outside, and that's a good play call. I like that there.
They needed 1. They got 17 on the play. And now Jackson to throw, and he's got his receiver, and that's going to be 1st down. Jackson Daly coming up with some momentum here with a nice toss.
That's the athleticism that Jackson Daly has. I want him to showcase that a little bit more. He's a talented player. He can move well. Let's see more of that here. I want him to get confident here now.
Derek Anderson makes the catch, his second of the game. He's a big-bodied target, 6'6", 260 yards. The Panthers really like Anderson's a preseason all-conference player on a lot of watch lists. They think that this guy can play some pro football after his college career is done. 1st and 10 now. Northern Iowa's moved the ball inside the Illinois State 15. Daly inside the 10, down to the 5, and he bangs inside the 5 on a nice carry. He's down near another Panther first down.
And I'll tell you what, Kurt, this is the first time I've seen their sideline kind of jumping around a little bit, getting a little momentum going. And that comes from Daly. A couple good passes there, a couple good runs, putting his head down there. I think his teammates are feeding off that here. Let's see if they can finish here in the red zone.
A nice effective drive for the Panthers offense after the Panthers defense stops Illinois State a turnover on downs on the first drive of this third quarter. Panthers got their first points of the afternoon late in the half when they got a field goal with under a half a minute to go in the second quarter, and now trying to tack on some more points early in the third. Daly's going to keep it. He's down to the 2.
Don't be surprised here if they just run Daly again a few times in a row even. Don't be surprised if they run him 4 times in a row here if they need to. He's running well on this drive.
So it'll be 2nd and goal from the 2. Panthers again, a team with only 13 touchdowns here, and the season trying to get one on the board here against Illinois State. Bay Bowie is in the end zone, and the Panthers have a rushing touchdown, which they haven't had in a couple of weeks.
Far and away, best drive of the day we've seen out of them. I mean, like I said, I'm harping on Daly. He needs to lead this offense, and he did that drive. He used his legs, he threw the ball. It was great to see out of him. As you see on the replay here, good job of finally getting a dent there out of the offensive line. That's something we need to see if they want to have a chance here in the second half. They just made it a lot closer game. You see the guys celebrating. It's fun to see out of them. Show a little emotion, show a little passion.
3rd rushing score of the year for Harrison Bay Bowie, the transfer from Eastern Illinois. He's playing in his home state. He's from Moline. And the extra point is good. 10 straight points now for the Panthers. They've made this a 21-10 game here at Hancock Stadium.
Media, timeout.
Seasons here at the Heller stores. And just like your favorite team.
Northern Iowa capping off a 7-play, 58-yard drive with a 2-yard touchdown run by Harrison Bay-Bowie, and they have scored 10 in a row, and they make this a 21-10 game now. A little bit of momentum, I'd say, on the sideline over there on Northern Iowa side.
You could see that. We finally saw a little emotion, a little passion, a little fist bump there out of Daly after that last touchdown run that got in there. That's good to see if they want to have a chance here.
Took advantage of that turnover on downs and turned it into points. Dylan Lord calls for the fair catch as he takes that kickoff. Take a look at this short touchdown run, the 3rd of the season for Harrison Bay-Bowie.
Just a good job of Bay-Bowie getting downhill once again. I love to see the dent out of that offensive line. Some big athletic guys up front there getting a dent finally. Like we said, Illinois State, we were passing a war for the first half. Would have went to Illinois State's defensive line being a brick wall there. Good to see UNI getting a little push there finally.
And now maybe some sense of urgency on the Redbird sideline. They had a 21-0 lead, and now it's a 21-10 game. And now time for them to answer maybe for the first time all day. Rittenhouse to Scotty Presson, who rolls over and makes the play, and he's near a first down, picked up 9 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 1. Presson had 2 touchdown catches last week. Very popular guy in the locker room. You've played with him before. He's a guy that people like.
Scotty is one of the harder working dudes in the team, and to see some of that hard work finally come to fruition has been amazing to see.
9-yard pickup on the play. It's Dylan Lord this time. They come to the sidelines, and he makes the play. Wrapped up by Joe Hall, but not before he picks up 6 on the catch, and it's an Illinois State first down.
Don't be surprised if you see some more of those quick hitters outside. These cornerbacks they'll come up like they're showing man, but their eyes will be inside on the quarterback, and then they bail. Cover three and cover 3 weak is something they do a lot. Don't be surprised if you see some more hitches, some more of those quick hitters.
Yeah, the quick game was very effective for the Redbirds last week in that victory at South Dakota. This is Seth Glatz. Stays on his feet. He's going to cross the line of scrimmage and pick up a yard before he's wrapped up. Again, Jordan McCloud on that hit for the Panthers defense.
This UNI defense showing a little passion here too now. Maybe they're feeding off the offense. I like what I see all of a sudden.
Tempo offense for the Redbirds. Back to the line of scrimmage right away. On 2nd down. The give is to Glatz, and he picks up another couple, but the Redbirds are going to face 3rd and long here. Maybe a pickup of 2. It'll be 3rd and 7 for Illinois State.
Once again, here on 3rd down, if we do a pure progression drop back pass here, just want to see Tommy Rittenhouse with some calm feet. If nothing's there, let's take off and run. Use those legs that he's well known for.
Redbirds 4 of 6 on 3rd down today. Eddie Casper's the one in motion. Rittenhouse complete to Dylan Lord. He's right at the sticks, and it looks like the Redbirds have another first down. They needed 7, and that's what they got.
Once again, some more man coverage there. It was clear with Eddie Casper running across the field. The defender was following him, and Tommy Rittenhouse just took his one-on-one matchup backside with Dylan Lord. What a route out of Dylan Lord. We talked about him pregame, and he's just what a route backside. I would say that's Daniel Sobquist-esque right there.
Lord had a career high 8 catches last week in the win at South Dakota. That's his 7th catch of the game.
The chains have broken.
Oh, how about this? The first down chains have broken, and so we've got a timeout on the field. I'm not sure I've ever experienced that before. Well,
Dylan Lord breaking ankles, breaking chains. Was that a good joke?
Yeah.
Or no, I don't know.
Well, Lord, as we mentioned, he is a guy that overcame an injury all of last year. He's a redshirt freshman from Arizona, and he's got 21 catches coming into the game. He had 8 last week, and now, like I said, he's added 7 more, so you figure 15 catches in the last 2 weeks.
He stepped up big time, and like I said, this is a confident kid. Met him last year when he was a true freshman. Brief introduction to him and talking to him a couple times throughout this season. He's a confident young kid that believes in his abilities. He's a big-time football player.
You know, they quickly got the chains fixed, and that's good. So it's a first down for the Redbirds right at midfield after the 3rd down catch from Dylan Lord. Rittenhouse with time. Looking for Casper. Incomplete. Joe Hall in coverage, and Jordan McCloud back there as well for the Panthers. That was about 6 inches away from being a big play.
Yes, that was. Play action attempt here. Rittenhouse just started backside with Lord again. Saw Casper over the middle there, had him for a chance. Just a little overreached.
Second down, Illinois State at the 50-yard line. Rittenhouse again over the middle. That's Maylander who takes a big hit. Picked up maybe 5 on the play, so the Redbirds will face 3rd and 5. One of the Panthers is slow to get up. Oh boy, that's Alonzo Morgan.
Timeout on the field for an injury to
He was in on the hit, and he tried to get to his feet and then immediately went back down. Morgan's a junior cornerback, number 7 there. In on that play. We'll step aside. It's 21-10 Illinois State here midway through the 3rd quarter. And so now the Redbirds face 3rd and 5 from the 45-yard line. Another big play for Illinois State. And they're going to get a free play here, it looks like. There was flags on the play, pre-snap penalty coming. The ball is thrown down to Dylan Lord, but they're going to whistle it dead. 2 players on the Panthers offense or defensive line jumped off sides. And so they killed the play before they could throw it downfield.
Offside. Defense with contact. Number 2. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And the fans are booing there, but the ref saw contact with the offensive line. That's why they blew that dead. There's not much else to that. The ref saw what he saw.
Clock operator, please reset the game clock to 6 minutes and 17 seconds. Thank you.
There's another look. There's the contact. There you see.
Yeah, that's a good call by the refs right there. That's how you're supposed to call it. Illinois State's a little frustrated because they wanted the free play, but that's how you're supposed to call it. That's the rules.
So first down, they move the ball now to the 40-yard line. So the Redbirds take advantage of the penalty and get a first down out of the deal. And Rittenhouse to throw again. He's got Javon Charles, who makes the play. He's shoved out of bounds on the play by Ethan Scoville. It's going to be a 2-yard gain now for the Redbird tight end, who's got a touchdown catch in this game.
Don't be surprised here if Tony Peterson dials up another shot here soon. This is kind of an area that he tends to like to take a shot at the end zone.
2nd and 8 now for the Redbirds. Putting together a nice sustained drive here. The give is to Seth Glatz, and he gets to the outside, and he's got running room. Glatz hurdles a defender and picks up another couple of yards.
How about that athleticism there, huh, Kurt? Holy cow. Just an inside zone call. Seth bounces it. Missed tackle there by the UNI defender. And look at this. Get up!
How about that play?
He was about 2 more inches from fully clearing him there, clipped his foot. But how about that athleticism, huh?
Well, Seth Glatz was a track star at Morton High School. Not sure he ever did the hurdles. He was a sprinter. He gets the carry again, dives inside the 10-yard line. That'll make a few highlight reels, we would think.
It will. He was a little patient on that run there. I wonder if he's a little tired. He was pretty hyped up after that play. Might be a little out of breath.
It's a 26-yard gain for Glatz on that play, and then a short gain on his second attempt. He'll come out of the game. 7 carries, 46 yards now for Seth Glatz. And Vic Dawson goes back in the game now for the Redbirds, who face 2nd and 7 now from the 9-yard line. Rittenhouse, incomplete. He was trying to connect with Casper. What are you dialing up here on 3rd and 7?
I think you go back to a pass play here again. I mean, there's a lot on the docket. I think you're kicking a field goal if you don't get the first down here. I mean, you could see Dylan Lord down here singled up again. Might have this corner on an island down here. I wouldn't be surprised if you see him go that way.
It's Victor Dawson, touchdown Redbirds.
Kurt, maybe that's why I'm not up in the booth calling the plays. I don't know. Good call there by Tony Peterson on a run play there. Kind of caught the UNI defense off guard there, I believe. How about that? They were not prepared for that at all. Huge hole there. I mean, look at Jake Pope fired up there. Kind of going back and forth with some UNI defenders.
Well, the Redbirds wanted to respond to the touchdown of the Panthers, and they do on a 12-play, 75-yard drive. The point after is good. And on Victor Dawson's touchdown run from 9 yards out, the Redbirds are back in front now by 18.
It'll be interesting to see if that drive kind of took the wind out of UNI's sails again. I would still like to think that UNI has some fight in them. They're well coached, well led. And again, I think Jackson Daly showed us something on that last drive there. I would love to see it again here.
Dawson's first rushing score of the year. He now has 11 carries for 79 yards. And again, the Redbirds are playing without Winkers Wright, who got hurt on that first series after a nice long run. So it's been Glatz and Dawson doing most of the heavy lifting in the backfield here.
And how about them just going back and forth there on that drive?
Yeah,
I mean, Glatz with that hurdle. I mean, how about that? He didn't fully clear him, but it was still fun to see.
So a good answer for the Redbird offense after Northern Iowa scores on its first possession of the 3rd quarter. Illinois State answers.
You know, don't be surprised to see some more of that RPO action out of Daly in this offense. I think that's something they had success with their last drive. He was moving on the run, throwing that ball. He's got to be careful with the offensive lineman getting too far downfield if he holds on the ball for too long.
Okay. 4.5 minutes to go here, 3rd quarter.
Okay.
Maldonado with a low line drive kick. That's going to be fielded down there by Jaden Hodge. Good pursuit by the Redbird kick return team. He gets to about the 13-yard line. Ty Niekamp's having another big year, and Kayla Butler has more on him. Kalia, take it away.
For the Redbirds, special teams, special players, special names. Special teams has a badge of honor to reflect that pride, each unit name inspired by elite military forces. The punt team is the SEALs, the punt return are the Rangers, and the kickoff team is the Night Stalkers, and the list goes on. SPAC says he wanted the groups to receive recognition because they deserve so much of it. They've instilled that since the beginning, day one for the culture.
Jackson Daly on the keeper. And a 9-yard gain, so it'll be 2nd and 1. Yeah, the Redbird special teams, they've got all those nicknames that are based in military lore, right?
Yeah, but that's something that a lot of teams I've been a part of, they do that. I've seen it a lot. But it's fun. It adds some passion to the guys, and a lot of times it gives some emotion to what's going on out there, because special teams can be a physical aspect of the game.
So a good start to this drive for Northern Iowa. A 9-yard pickup on the quarterback run from Jackson Daly. Looks like he's getting a little bit more confidence here. His first start of the season for the Panthers. And on second down, they're going to hand the ball off. This is J.C. Roque, and he's going to get to the marker just enough for that first down, it looks like.
He's a little guy, but he can rumble now. His legs are moving when he gets to the outside there. Would love to see him out in open space a little bit more, a few more times here.
So indeed, he picks up enough yardage for the first down. They'll move the sticks. And the ball placed out there at the 23-yard line as we approach the 3-minute mark left here in this third quarter. Daly with 87 yards passing and 46 yards running out of that quarterback spot. This time he flips it out to Roque on the pass. Short gain, maybe a couple there, maybe 3 yards.
Once again, I think Daly feels confident in the RPO game. I think they should just keep going back to that. I mean, we could drop him back a few times. Where he's finding confidence is having the option to hand the ball off and then get him in the flat and possibly spit that ball out to either a bubble or someone run to the flat. He looks confident doing it. I mean, let's just keep calling it if that's what's working for you.
They're going to give him 3 yards on that play, so it's 2nd and 7 now. 3 wide receivers are split to the left of Jackson Daly, who looks right and flips it out. That's Jackson with the catch, and he slides ahead maybe to about the 30-yard line, so it'll be 3rd down and 2 now for the Panthers.
You know, something we haven't seen on Northern Iowa today, we haven't seen too many downfield shots. Obviously, Illinois State has been limiting the explosive plays. That was one of the keys of the game, but we haven't seen many, if any, downfield shots. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point we said, I mean, Daly has a strong arm. It's something that he can do.
Another big play here for both sides, right? 3rd and 2, under 2 minutes to go here, third quarter.
I mean, I'm stating the obvious, but this is a big 3rd down play right here.
They give it to Jackson, and he gets the first down. That offensive line for the Panthers appears to be playing better here in the second half.
Finally seeing a little something where it almost feels like a different group out there compared to the first half. Finally getting some space there for the running back. Finally making a dent on that defensive line that's been so good today.
Jackson with his 8th carry of the game. He picked up 5 on the play. He's got 15 yards. Again, it's just been tough sledding for the Northern Iowa rushing attack. But they're now over 100 yards rushing for the game at 104. 1st and 10 from the 38. Okay, again, boy, they had that play snuffed out. Shad Nakuba didn't go for the fake, and that's no gain right at the line of scrimmage as he pushed Roque out of bounds. Roque comes into the game with 28 catches. He had a really quiet first half, but they've kind of targeted him a little bit more here, Zach, on the second half.
Yeah, that's right. And what they're trying to do here is spread out the defense with these RPOs. They're trying to get the ball on the flat. You've seen it a handful of times this drive so far, as well as the drive they had success on. That's because the offensive line struggled in the first half. But maybe the offensive line is starting to get a little bit more here, Kurt. Would love to see it.
Under a minute to go here, third quarter. No gain on the play, 2nd and 10. Daly steps up in the pocket. He's going to run it this time. And he's upended right about the 43-yard line. Ty Niekamp there to make the hit.
You know, we haven't seen too much up-tempo offense out of them, but it's a 3-possession game right now. I know it's the third quarter, but don't be surprised when this fourth quarter starts that they kind of start picking up the pace a little bit, getting a little more up-tempo stuff, going a little more of a 2-minute offense as they're down 3 possessions right now going to the fourth quarter, excuse me.
And that's going to be the final play of the quarter. Niekamp with his 7th tackle of the game. He's got 84 on the season now, the #1 tackler for the Redbirds. 28-10, Illinois State leads as we head to the fourth quarter here at Hancock Stadium.
Look closely at this truck. You'll see hard work, a great adventure, and so much more. Inside and out, it's designed for the...
pricing for Illinois State staff, students, teachers, alumni, and parents. The Bloomington Normal Auto Mall on the corner of Towanda and Fort Jesse in Normal. Fourth quarter action straight ahead. It's 28-10 Illinois State, but a big third down play here for Northern Iowa. The Panthers face 3rd and 4 from their own 44. Aiden Price, the man in motion. Jackson Daly to pass. Going downfield looking for Kershaw, in and out of his hands. A lot of contact down there, and now a late flag.
There's the downfield shot we were talking about, though. That's a big receiver right there. I think that was kind of battling back and forth.
Dorian DuBose is the Illinois State defender on the play, and he is saying, what did I do, what did I do?
Pass interference. Defense, number 24. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Another big penalty for the Redbirds. That's the second time that they've been called for pass interference. One on the offensive end, the other on the defensive end. They also had a roughing the passer. So some big plays which have given the Panthers some automatic first downs and really moved the football.
Yeah, I don't know, Curry. There was a lot of hand battling going on there, but I can see why they called it.
So a fresh set of downs for the Panthers. And Daly with time to pass. And he throws, and he's got his man, and it's going to be a touchdown. J.C. Roque.
What a play, what a throw. I mean, that is an NFL pass right there. He just drove that to the field and ripped that right in there. Great catch as well.
Second Saturday in a row that those two have connected on a touchdown play, and that's the third TD for Roque on the season. The sophomore from Florida comes through with a big play, a 41-yard scoring play. Panthers are in this football game, folks.
That they are.
But the extra point is no good.
Kurt,
see how costly that might be.
That is huge because that adds an extra point there that they're going to have to get. Obviously, could have had a touchdown, the 2-point conversion, a field goal to tie it. Now it's a little bit extended.
Early fourth quarter. We'll step aside. 28-16 Redbirds. Seven-yard drive, the touchdown pass from Jackson Daly to J.C. Roque. There was a penalty on the extra point, an unsportsmanlike penalty on Illinois State's Cam Wilson. So that's going to be assessed here on the kickoff. So the kick is going to be from midfield on the 15-yard penalty. And so this, you would think, likely is going to go through the back of the end zone. But the Panthers have some life here in this football game.
That they do. We kind of saw it to open up the half there, and they've kind of continued it rolling. Just need to stop on defense here now to slow down this explosive ISU offense.
They're going to try a little squib kick here, and nice hands by Rylan Crawford as he scoops that one up, and the Redbirds will have the ball at the 30-yard line. Let's go to our sideline reporter, Kalia Butler.
When I asked Coach Stepsis how they're building the foundation of this Northern Iowa program, he told me it's a lot like bamboo. You don't see growth right away because all of the focus is underground, strengthening the roots. But once that foundation is set, the growth can be fast and strong. He said he doesn't want to rush the process for them and is focused on developing leaders on this team. Back to you guys.
Illinois State starts the drive at the 30-yard line, and Rittenhouse to throw on first down. He's looking downfield, intended for Rylan Crawford, threw behind him, incomplete. Jonathan Cabral-Martin on the coverage.
Rittenhouse is looking for a back shoulder ball there, just kind of not on the same page there. I don't mind the thought of the Tommy Rittenhouse there. It's just, like I said, need to be on the same page there. Rylan was maybe thinking over the top.
Second down and 10. Rittenhouse 20 of 26 on the game now. This is Dylan Lord with the catch, and he's wrapped up out of bounds after about a 6-yard gain. And that's going to bring up third down. This is an important drive for the Redbirds for sure.
That it is. They need to stop this momentum that UNI has going.
Yeah, the Panthers with 3 points at halftime, and they've added 13 here in the second half. Pressure coming. Ball is caught over the middle, right about the line to gain. Again, it's Dylan Lord who makes yet another big play in traffic, and he's right at the sticks, and another first down. Lord is again having a terrific game.
What a route there by Dylan Lord. A lot of offenses call that a short post. He's just attacking that outside shoulder defender and cross face like a slant. Stretch release there. That's a big-time route. Like I said, I think Dylan Lord's a big-time player now.
He's got 9 catches now. That's a career high for one game. He had 8 catches last week. Rittenhouse, we got a flag on the play. He goes to Victor Dawson, who's got a first down yardage and more. He's wrestled to the ground about the 40-yard line, but there's a flag in that Illinois State backfield, and that might be against the Redbirds. They'll likely bring this one back here.
I don't think Jake Pope liked that one too much.
Personal foul. Illegal hands to the face. Offense. Number 67. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Yeah, that's Jake Pope, the left tackle. He had to move from the right side to the left side with the injury to Brandon Smith, Illinois State's starting left tackle, who went down in the Youngstown State game 2 weeks ago, and so he's playing his second game now at left tackle.
Hands to the face is a penalty the referee's been looking out a lot more for in the past couple of seasons. You see in the NFL a lot too. It's a call that's been called a lot more.
So it's now 1st and 25 for the Redbirds. Ball back now at the 26-yard line. They'll set up a screen. It's Dylan Lord, who's to the 30-yard line before he's brought down. Jack Creeves in. Defensive tackle comes back and makes a play on a wide receiver.
Again, here, let's look at Jake Pope on the left side there. I mean, pretty clear hands to the face there. Jake Pope didn't love it after the play, but pretty clear hands to the face there.
Pope was a left tackle early in his career at Illinois State, but hadn't had a rep in about 3 years there until he was pressed into action in that game 2 weeks ago against Youngstown State. Redbirds pick up 5 on the play, so it's 2nd and 20 now from the 30-yard line. Rittenhouse throwing downfield, again going for Crawford, stride for stride with him was Jonathan Cabral-Martin. It's incomplete, and the Redbirds will face third down and long.
And Crawford had man coverage on him. He's kind of complaining a little bit. Maybe he was getting held. I would just like to see him stay outside in that corner. It's a hard ball for Rittenhouse, and all of a sudden the receiver turns back inside the DB. Would like to see Ryland stay outside, hold that red line, we call it. That's the line between, the imaginary line between the numbers and the sideline. Hold that line, give Rittenhouse some room to make that throw. Nevertheless, good job of taking a shot downfield by Rittenhouse.
So another big third down play now for the Redbirds. 3rd and 20. They give us to Dawson. And Victor Dawson out to about the 40-yard line. He gets back to the original line of scrimmage. So he's going to pick up 10 on the play, but the Redbirds are facing 4th down now, and they're going to have to kick it away.
I don't know, Kurt. We got a game here. This UNI team has life. I was getting a little worried in the first half there that they were kind of dying a little bit on us, but they have some life here. They have some momentum. Let's see if this Jackson Dale and this offense can keep this thing rolling.
Hayden Futch, a man that we haven't called his name yet today, into punt for the Redbirds.
That's a compliment to the Illinois State offense.
Yeah, 43-yard average. And we're going to see him kick now. The Northern Iowa Panthers have 3 blocked punts this year and a blocked field goal. They've been very good at this point of the game with their special teams. The kick is away, and it's a fair catch for Roque at the 12-yard line. 11:41 to go here, 4th quarter. Don't go anywhere, folks. It's a 12-point game. Illinois State 28, Northern Iowa 16 here at Hancock Stadium.
You'll see hard.
Toyota, let's go places.
28-16, the Illinois State lead is 12. Northern Iowa now with the football. 1st and 10 from their own 12-yard line. Just under 12 minutes to play here at Hancock Stadium. Daly out with a quick pass to Roque. The Redbirds stop him after a short gain of maybe 4.
Once again, getting it outside. They're trying to take some relief out of that box, take some relief off the old line that struggled in the first half. Like I said, they're having a better second half, but getting the ball in the flat, so they're playmakers.
Kean Kimmerling, the center, is down and slow to get up right now for the Panthers.
Number 51.
So we've got an injury timeout now. The Panthers have certainly done a better job of getting Roque involved here in this offense, both running the football, he had a run early, and now catching passes. He is their #1 receiver, and now he's making some plays.
100% there. Again, this is their starting center who's down there, if I'm not mistaken, which is kind of a big deal. That's a redshirt senior up front there. Especially in terms of snaps. I mean, that's something, especially in college, you can see happen a lot. Especially if they put a new center in there, whether they move a guard there, whether there's a new center coming in. Snaps, whether you see them go under center, you see them go in the shotgun. Let's just something to kind of keep an eye on here as we finish out this game.
Take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Panthers. Just 3 games left on their schedule. They return home to take on Murray State before a trip to the #1 ranked team in the country, North Dakota State. And then they've got Youngstown State at home to close the regular season on November the 22nd. 3 remaining games now for the Panthers. They're still attending here to Kean Kamerling.
And again, Kurt, we've talked about it. It's a 2-6 ball club. Haven't won the Missouri Valley, but when I was watching film this week and watching them out here today, they have more talent than a 2-6 ball club. I really do believe that.
And this is a process. Obviously, you've got 9 new coaches. You've had a coaching change. Mark Farley retires after a long career at Northern Iowa, so you've got a new system in there. This week they're changing quarterbacks. This is new stuff right now for the Panthers.
And that program has a high standard that I don't see Stepsis and the rest of the staff coming down from. You know, I think they're going to get this thing rolling here real soon.
We're ready to return to action here after that 3-yard catch by J.C. Roquet. It's 2nd and 7 as we get closer to the 11-minute mark left here in this 4th quarter. Ball's at the 15-yard line. Daly to throw. He's got Jackson, and he's immediately wrapped up. Redbirds in excellent coverage there. That's another play that Patrick Bauer is making.
Good open field tackle there by Patrick Bauer. Not getting juked out, just sitting there, playing athletic and making that tackle.
So now a big 3rd and 10 play for the Panthers.
It's obviously a big 3rd down. It's 3rd and long, but if you're Jackson Daly, please don't force a ball here that you would regret later on. Even if you have to punt it here, there's still 10 minutes left in the clock. Your team has 3 timeouts. It's a 2-score game, but don't force anything too crazy here.
Daly throws downfield, incomplete. And now a flag.
I mean,
C.J. Richard was the Illinois State defender on the play.
Illinois State's going to complain about that again, but I mean, I don't know if you want to call it uncatchable or not, but.
Pass interference. Defense, number 20. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. 1st down.
The 3rd pass interference call against Illinois State this afternoon.
And again, Illinois State fans are booing that. They're fired up about that, but the DB has to at least give the guy a chance to make a play on the ball, and he was holding him outside there. Good acting job as well by the receiver. That's something that's coached a lot too. I mean, if you're going downfield and you can't get to it, but you think you can get a PI call, let's be good actors. Let's go to Hollywood.
1st and 10 now. The ball is moved up to the 27-yard line.
Play clock's running down here. They're gonna have to burn a timeout. That's a big timeout call there that they might need later.
Timeout. Northern Iowa. They're first.
Coach Stepsis is fired up about that.
30-second timeout.
All right, let's take a look at the pass interference call from just a moment ago.
Once again, the DB's in a hard position there. He has good leverage on the receiver. Again, good acting job by the receiver, flailing his arms there. That is something that's coached, though. If you can't get to the ball as a receiver, hey, let's flail our arms. Like I said, let's take them to Hollywood. Let's go to acting class.
Now, that's Briggs Houston, who made that sales job. But you're right. I mean, when the defender's got his back to the play and there's all kinds of traffic there and there's contact, you're asking for the flag.
Yep, and it's hard to coach a DB in that situation. He's guarding him well. The ball was thrown inside. It's almost, if you want to say, unlucky. I don't know if I believe in luck or not, but it was kind of a little unlucky for the DB there.
But again, a big timeout used here by the Panthers at the 10:27 mark here at this 4th quarter. 1st and 10 now. Fresh set of downs for the Panthers offense. And Daly with some time, but now it's Steffen who gets him again. Garrett Steffen has made a living in that backfield here this afternoon.
You know, I'm a believer, and obviously the offensive line needs to hold up there, but I'm a believer in, I'd say almost 90% of the time, a sack is on the quarterback. Daly needs to do something. He needs to get the ball out of his hand. I know he's trying to make a play. He has good legs. He wants to run, but get the ball out of our hands there, brother, and let's keep the ball where it is.
Steffen with his 2nd sack of the game. He came in with just a half a sack on the season, so what an afternoon he has had. Loss of 9 on the play, so it's 2nd and 19. Pressure coming again. He flips it out. He's got Jackson, who's hit immediately that time by Shad Nakuba. He's going to pick up about 7 on the play, and they're looking at 3rd and 13 here.
Another big 3rd and long here. Once again, there's still 9 minutes left in the game. Don't force the ball here if I'm Daly. I'm not scared to take a shot down the field by any means, but let's not force something to completely put us out of this game if Illinois State gets the ball at great field position. Once again, don't be surprised. If we can get this to 4th and 1 or 4th and 2, I wouldn't be surprised if they go for it here.
We'll see what Nate Thompson, the offensive coordinator, has dialed up on 3rd and 13 on a 4th quarter drive for the Panthers. Daly's got time. Now he's being chased, and now he throws it downfield, and it's going to be incomplete. Good work by the Redbirds secondary there.
Good work by the Redbirds secondary there. Good work by the D-line, not giving up on that play, chasing them down. Daly just trying to extend the play there, see something downfield. Seemed a little confused if he wanted to run there, throw it. But again, let's punt this ball out of our territory, and let's get a stop here for UNI's defense.
That was a big stop for the Illinois State defense for sure. Kind of stem the tide of that momentum that the Panthers had. And they do not take advantage of that pass interference call. Pettinger kick is caught on the fair catch by Eddie Casper up at the 41-yard line. So with 8:42 to play now, the Redbird offense comes back out, and you just know that Brocksback wants a long, time-consuming drive here.
That he does, that he does. And again, Tommy Rittenhouse has been efficient today. He's been completing passes. Again, don't be surprised if we throw the ball here if he's confident in his quarterback like I know he is.
Rittenhouse comes into this drive 23 of 31 for 191 yards. Of course, he's got a touchdown run in the game. And again, it's just been a nice, effective game for him. He's also got a touchdown pass. And the Redbird offense now trying to milk this clock here and really put this game away. Dawson ahead for a couple.
Northern Iowa seems pretty confident in their DBs because they're leaving Dylan Lord again on an island out there. Again, don't be surprised. Like I said, they have a lot of confidence in Tommy Rittenhouse. Don't be surprised if you see him throw the ball here, even though you want to keep the clock running.
Dawson knocking on the door to his first 100-yard game as a Redbird. He has 13 carries for 93 yards. He gets it again, and he gets across the 45 to about the 46. The Redbirds will face 3rd down here.
I know Wanker's right is out of the game, but we were talking about it in the break. How about him standing down there smiling, leading his guys, cheering on his teammates? That's something that's not as common in every single locker room, but this team, even if he's out, he is supporting down there. He is cheering. He is leading and coaching when they come off the field. It's impressive to see.
Third, and they're going to call it 6 for Illinois State. Rittenhouse to Dylan Lord, another big catch on 3rd down, and once again he is right at the sticks. That's the 3rd time today that he's made a 3rd down play right at the marker.
Such sure hands there. I mean, he was one of our keys to the game. I mean, he has stepped up to the plate. He has performed today. Nothing incredibly flashy, but just everything he's been asked to do, he has done.
How about an 11-catch afternoon for Dylan Lord?
Love to see it.
He's got 19 catches in the last 2 weeks. And more importantly, a 1st down for the Redbirds now. Under 7 minutes to go here, 4th quarter. Rittenhouse flushed out of the pocket. He's going to run and be angled out of bounds. Picked up maybe 6 or 7. Ryan Crandall was out there to meet him. Crandall is the senior from Ankeny, Iowa, the Western Illinois transfer, a really good player, #1 tackler on the team.
I know they changed that rule in college football, I think a couple of years ago, about when you go out of bounds, the clock keeps running. But it pauses there for a second. Something I'd love to see out of Illinois State is to be aware here soon, especially as the clock starts to run down. Let's stay in bounds. Let's keep the ball in play. Let's keep that clock running. I think that's something important to keep an eye on here.
As the quarterback, he was obviously trying to get out of bounds there, too, to just protect himself from being hit. He flips the pass out, and it's caught again right at the sidelines. That's a 1st down for Illinois State on a catch that time from Eddie Casper. You look at the number of players that have caught a pass here today, Zach. Dawson, Maylander, Casper, Charles, Crawford, Preston, Glatz, and of course, Dylan Lord. They have really moved that football around.
And what did we talk about in pregame in this whole game? We need people to step up for Sobkwitz's absence because Sobkwitz gets 10-plus targets a game now.
Here's Victor Dawson. Stays on his feet, close to the 30-yard line before he's finally dragged down. A couple of players in on that tackle.
And Kirk, can we highlight for a second Victor Dawson? First contact, he runs his feet. He does not stop his feet. I've been seeing it all day. It's been impressive. That's what's helped him have such a good game today. He just keeps running his feet on contact, whether he breaks it or he just keeps going.
Yeah, the senior from Akron has been a really nice addition to this Redbird team this year. Deep running back room. Picked up 2 on the play. 2nd down and 8. Rittenhouse to throw, incomplete. There may have been a miscommunication on the route. He was going in the direction of Dylan Lord, who was running downfield, and that looked like the pass for an out route.
Might have been miscommunication there. I think Tommy wanted him to sit down. I think they might have had some miscommunication there based on the coverage. I think Dylan thought he had man coverage. He's probably going to keep taking that over top on a go ball. And Tommy might have seen it as a bailing cover 3 corner and wanted him to sit it down there.
So it's 3rd and 8 now for Illinois State. Dawson stays in the game. He's the single setback. And Rittenhouse goes over the middle. And he has his man. Guess who? It's Preston who comes up with another big catch. And he slides out of one tackle and dives ahead for another first down. And Scotty Preston with another big catch for the Redbirds.
You know what's impressive to see there out of Rittenhouse? He didn't force anything downfield. He went through his progression. Look at his feet here. I mean, his feet are just so calm, so poised. Been like that all day. It's just so awesome to see out of him.
Well, Preston doesn't make... He's got 11 catches on the season coming into this game. He doesn't have the 50 catches, but every catch he makes seems to be big.
100%. You saw that last week. You're seeing it again today. He's just a sure and steady guy, and he has the trust of his teammates and of Tommy Rittenhouse.
And a huge first down for the Redbirds. And Dawson keeps those feet churning. His forward progress was at about the 20-yard line before he was pushed back. We'll see where they move that ball. Yeah, they're going to spot it at about the 20-yard line. Again, he's inching closer to a 100-yard game here. He had 97 yards going into that carry, and if they give him 2, he's going to be sitting on 99 now for the game. Redbirds happy to let this clock melt down too. Second down and 8. Rittenhouse rolling, throwing. Luke Maylander, first down, catches inside the 10-yard line.
You saw that exact same play earlier with Eddie Casper, I believe, in the first quarter. And again, Luke Maylander, another young receiver that has a bright future. I mean, I believe last year's this year he's a redshirt freshman, but he's an impressive cat. He's had a really good season. It's fun to see him and play a little more here.
Yeah, the transfer of Xavier Lloyd, who had a big year last year for the Redbirds, opened the door for Maylander to step in. And he has taken full advantage of this opportunity to play for the Redbirds.
And he has still so much room to grow physically, mentally, maturity-wise. I've heard great things about him, but there's still, the sky's the limit for the kid.
First and goal. Dawson inside the 5, and that's going to put him over 100 yards. He's going to have his first 100-yard game for Illinois State.
I mean, if you're Brock Speck, could you have asked for much more out of this drive right here? I don't think so.
This is exactly what the doctor ordered as we're going to approach the 2-minute timeout here. Redbirds have the football inside the 5-yard line, and they're going to take their sweet time to come to the line of scrimmage here. 17 carries, 101 yards, and a touchdown for Victor Dawson. He may add to that here. It's Preston. Slides away from one tackle, but not a second. He gets back to the 5-yard line. Good play in the open field there. John Powers brings him down.
They tried to go with a little pop pass there. You saw Rittenhouse ride the running back there. Javon Charles faked the block for a second, tried to pop out. You and I must have seen it on film throughout the season. They've seen it. Tony Peterson run that play before down here in the red zone. And again, I mean, UNI's defense does have a really good red zone defense. We've seen it all season. That was a great stop there by them.
This is going to take us to the 2-minute timeout. Redbirds with the football, knocking on the door again. They've got a 12-point lead with 2 minutes to go here at Hancock Stadium.
Timeout.
Illinois State 28, Northern Iowa 16. 2 minutes to go here in Normal. 12-point lead and the football inside. They're going to mark it at the 5-yard line after that catch by Scotty Preston. So the Redbirds face 3rd and goal here from the 5.
Getting a touchdown here is huge.
Rittenhouse is under duress, and he's going down. They brought the house, and a sack of Tommy Rittenhouse brings the ball all the way out to the 15-yard line. So they dial up some pressure. Al Smith's defense comes up with a big play.
Curtin, that gave Northern Iowa a breathing chance here. I mean, this is going to be a 15-point game. It gave them a chance here. Obviously, it's going to be a 2-possession game instead of being a 3-possession game if ISU would score a touchdown.
Clock operator, please reset the game clock.
All right, timeout on the field here. 1:55 to go here, 4th quarter. Illinois State 28-16 on Northern Iowa.
Look closely at this truck. You'll see hard work, a great adventure, and so much more. Inside and out, it's designed for the family, the road trip, and the most demanding job. The Ford F-150. It's time to see Ford in a new light. Now lease a new built Ford Tough F-150 for just $299 per month for 36 months, only at your local Ford dealer.
Seasons here at the Heller stores, and just like your favorite team, we want to beat our competition. That means having the largest vehicle selection, the lowest prices, and an unmatched buying experience. Don't believe us? Just ask our favorite local football player, Cam Grandy from the NFL.
Hey guys, I'm Cam Grandy. I'm a tight end in the National Football League. I'm from here in Central Illinois, and when I shop for vehicles, I shop at Heller stores. Shopping at Heller stores is a great experience. Staff's really great, unbelievable prices, and they helped me get my new Raptor.
Shop us online at hellerstores.com.
At Illinois State University, legacy is more than a word. It's what you do. Daniel is powering the future of renewable energy. Natasha is getting a head start on a career caring for patients. Bella is leaving her mark as an artist. Winkers is all business, on the field and in the classroom. Samaya and Hope are discovering new ways to see the world. And you, the sky's the limit. Create your legacy at Illinois State University.
Look closely at this truck. You'll see hard work, a great adventure, and so much more. Inside and out, it's designed for the family, the road trip, and the most demanding job. The Ford F-150. It's time to see Ford in a new light. Now lease a new built Ford Tough F-150 for just $299 per month for 36 months, only at your local Ford dealer.
Redbird field goal unit is on. Matt Maldonado is set to attempt what appears to be about a 32-yard field goal here after the Redbirds were sacked on 3rd down, pushed them from their 5-yard line out to the 15. And so Maldonado, who has missed a field goal already here today, will try and really put 3 more big points on the board here. .32-yard attempt is good. (31-16), Illinois State the lead now with 1:53 to go. Northern Iowa has blocked a couple of kicks, so that was in play there. So that's a really big 3 points for the Redbirds.
That's huge points. And again, it's still a 2-possession game though. So I mean, that stop there by Northern Iowa was humongous to give them a breathing chance here, give them a fighting chance. Again, let's see if Daly and this offense can do something exciting. They kind of had a pretty good second half here.
Northern Iowa down to just 1 timeout. Remember, they had to use a timeout early in the 4th quarter when the play clock was winding down on them, and then they used a timeout after the sack there. So at this point, down to 1 remaining timeout with 1:53 to go.
You know, Kurt, earlier, a drive or two ago, I was saying, hey, Jackson Daly, don't do anything too crazy. Don't force a ball here and there. Hey, now it's time. Let's force a ball or two if we need to. The clock's running down. We need some explosive plays here. It's time to force a couple balls if we need to.
Well, Daly with a pretty good game here, 15 of 21 for 142. He's got a touchdown. He's got an interception. 71% completion rate for a guy who comes into the game at 47%. So This is something for him certainly to build on as the kick goes through the back of the end zone. And a guy who had 9 of 19 last week and now 28 of 30, 15 of 21 attempts here this afternoon.
And a lot of that's come in the second half. I mean, he's been efficient in the second half. Take away that interception where he kind of overthrew his crosser, and a couple sacks here and there. I'd like to see him get rid of the ball a little sooner. He's had an efficient second half.
Redbird offensive players out there cheering on the defense to say, finish things off right now with this 15-point lead. Under 2 minutes to go.
Again, I'm just going to highlight one timeout left here for Northern Iowa. One timeout.
On first down, Daly brought down from behind again, and that's going to be a 3rd sack for the Redbird defense today.
And on a 2-minute possession, we can't have turnovers. We can't have sacks.
Boy, Dexter Niekamp, that's Ty's younger brother in on that, so he gets a big play here. Clock still runs. Daly again chased out of the pocket. And he throws it away. Boy, pressure coming from a couple of different places. Reese Edwards chasing him down. Edwards has had a really solid game. We've not called his name as much as he's probably deserving, but Edwards has 7 tackles and a big pressure there.
And Kurt, obviously 4-down territory here. At this point in the game, that's obvious. Still 1 timeout. Don't be surprised still, too. I mean, it's not a terrible play to pick up 10 yards here and give yourself a chance on 4th down. I don't like 4th and longs. Don't be surprised to see a deep dig over the middle here some, too. A lot of teams like that. A lot of the dagger concept where we clear out the 2 slots and get a dig in behind it.
3rd and 13. Daly hit as he throws. And the Redbirds get another interception. That's Cam Wilson. The 2nd pick for the Redbird secondary. They had an interception earlier by LaShavion Brown, and here to ice the game is Cam Wilson.
Yeah, I don't mind the aggressiveness. It's just Daly just kind of throwing up a prayer there, trying to make something happen. And Cam Wilson coming down with a great catch there to close out this game.
First interception of the year for the senior from Cedar Hill, Texas. And he was the one that was called on that pass interference earlier in the quarter, so this is leaves a little bit better taste in his mouth after that play.
That it does.
Redbirds in victory formation now. They're going to just take a knee.
Tommy Rittenhouse walking up there trying to not take the rushing loss on his stat sheet, on the team stat sheet. I don't mind it, though. I don't mind it. How about this? 433 yards of total offense. And the Illinois State's defense has taken a lot of scrutiny this year. They held them to 240 yards on the UNI side.
One more snap is all it's going to take for the Redbirds to improve to 6-3 on the year and move to 3-2 in the Missouri Valley Conference, ahead of a road trip to Indiana State next week. Redbirds have back-to-back road games ahead of them, Indiana State and South Dakota State, before closing the year at home against Southern Illinois, and that's going to do it. Redbirds win this one 31-16. They run out to a 21-0 lead, and it looked like this might be just a blowout. It was not the case. You got to give the Panthers credit. They came back and made this a football game.
No, that team had a lot of fight in them. And like I said, we've talked about Daly lots today. Obviously, we talked about quarterbacks. It's arguably the most important position in all of sports. But they did show some really good fight. They had some momentum there. They made it a close game. Definitely Coach Spack and this Illinois State team were holding their breath there for a little bit.
That is the end of the game.
When you take a look at the numbers, you already mentioned, Zach, the 430 yards of total offense. The Redbirds had 202 yards on the ground today and 228 in the air, so almost 50-50 as far as that's concerned. That's a nice ratio.
We love seeing that. As an offensive mindset guy, my background, you love seeing a balanced attack, and that's what we had today for sure. And I think we'll talk about him a little bit. How about Victor Dawson's day? I mean, that kid, I talked about him earlier. He just ran his feet on contact. It was great to see. Rittenhouse's feet were poised the whole time, and that Illinois State defense just attacked and attacked. And I think if I give out another award, it'd still be to that Illinois State defensive line. They were a brick wall all day.
And again, that offensive line quietly does another solid job for the Redbirds. They gave up just their 11th sack of the year, here late in the game in the fourth quarter, but nonetheless, a nice performance for both the offensive and defensive lines for Illinois State, part of this 31-16 win. And the Redbirds, Victor Dawson is our player of the game, and he's standing by with our sideline reporter, Kalia Butler.
Victor, we saw Winkers Wright go out early. You come in, you have a 100-yard game. How do you stay prepared for opportunities like this?
No, just stay focused. Just be ready for your opportunity. And when it comes, just ball out.
Talk to me a little bit about the connection between you and Tommy Rittenhouse today.
No, we got a good connection, but this goes all the way back to when I first got here. Just during the off season, getting passes in, just getting that connection. So, yeah.
When I spoke to Coach Spack earlier today, he said that you remember the games in November. How is this the start of your playoff push?
It's a very good start. You got to keep it going.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Go Birds!
Yeah, Victor Dawson, 17 carries for 101 yards and a touchdown. And again, Winkers Wright goes out early in the first quarter on Illinois State's first series, the top tailback in that offense. But the Redbirds didn't miss a beat. They rushed for better than 200 yards thanks to Seth Glatz and Victor Dawson. What are some final thoughts on this game?
They didn't miss a beat. Victor Dawson stepped up, obviously our player of the game. You see a little personality out of him there. He was fun to watch. Now, like I said, I think it comes down to Tommy Rittenhouse's leadership. He's a senior. This is his last run at it. I just think he's calm, poised, collected. Really impressive day out today out of that quarterback.
Great work today, partner. Nice having you up here. For our producer, Peter Babb, and our entire Redbird Productions crew, I'm Kurt Pegler, alongside my broadcast partner, Zach Yannickstad, our sideline reporter, Kalia Butler, saying so long from Normal, Illinois, where your final score, Illinois State 31, Northern Iowa 16. The broadcast rights for this event have been granted to Marquee Sports Network by Illinois State University and Learfield IMG College. Any reproduction or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Marquee Sports Network and Illinois State University is strictly prohibited. Good night from Normal, Illinois.